Yo, Grand Rising. What's up, people? This is your Coach Renz. Welcome to the live on Why I Left Religion with Coach Renz, where we discuss and break down religion, freeing the world from the tyranny that is religion. We got to free the world from the tyranny that is religion. So welcome to Why I Left Religion with Coach Renz. Today, we are going to talk about the Hermetic Principles. How you doing, Michelle? Welcome to the show. Welcome in. I am officially 52 years old now, so now I got to make sure I say it right. But as an owner of Smoking Phoenix Cigars, I'm also going to get my cigar ready as we give about 5 minutes to let people get in. Let them get in. Michelle, we had the great opportunity to start around 1 o'clock today because my Angelina is not working today, so therefore I didn't have to hurry up and start so that we can finish. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate that. It was a great birthday. My mom, my daughters, my son called me, my brother, my sisters, aunts, a couple friends. It was a good day. Came on over, all over the house, had a good time. I actually shot it live for a little while me and Kevin Wesley was outside. So make sure you check that out. Me, Kevin Wesley was outside. Ghost was there and Lemon dropping in. Angelina came outside. We had a conversation about relationships, stepfathers, married couples not getting to know each other when they get old, all that kind of stuff. It was just a good general conversation we was having. So that's on my Facebook right now. And all my people who share the videos, I see y'all. I try to go out there and thank you for the share. So if I don't get to yours, and thank you for the share. I'm saying it right now. Thank you for the share. This one feel like it's gonna be a little tight on the breathing. I'm sitting in a different space, so I'm in my little smoking lounge. Also, this is barbecue smoked chocolates. Barbecue and smoked chocolate. Great pairing for cigars and wine. Clean your palate and everything. I got my coffee ready. Got my mind right. The interesting thing about having a boring day for me, you got to take time to self-evaluate. And this is a conversation I was having with one of my aunts last night. Self-evaluating, but really get into the parts of you that you lie to yourself about. So I spent some good amount of time doing that yesterday. I realized I have some cycles of my own to break. So we're gonna talk about that. That's part of the get started. Who else is on here? I see some other people on here. Grand Rising. Can't see your name though. If you're new to the channel, what we do is deconstruct religions but build up in our spirituality. And today we're going to talk about one of the primary things that's utilized for that. Yeah, this one's a little hard. Yeah, they rolled this one tight. We're going to have some struggle love with this one. Thank you, Christian. Christian came onto the live last night for our little fireside chat with Kevin. Grand Rising Michelle, thank you for the happy born day. really need my poker, but I can't get up. I've entrapped myself. I'm surrounded. Brett Grand Rising, how you doing? Brett W. I am. I'm surrounded. I got like a table here, that got stuff all right here. I can't get up without creating a ruckus. Christian, I know you came onto the live last night. Have you ever? Do you know who Kevin Wesley is? I'm just curious. I really need that poker. Would it be wrong of me to yell upstairs to ask Angelina to come all the way downstairs so she can grab the poker that's in that room over there? Okay. Kevin Wesley is actually how I got started doing all this. Well, I ain't gonna say I had already got started, but that was my first. He was the first person that I started gaining some notoriety from, because he walked away from Christianity and people were sending him death threats. Hey, you are right on time. And I was supporting him in that venue, and then did a lot of lives with him, and he my channel picked up from there. You heard me? Oh, you know the intake and vents is like right there, so if you're right there, you can't hear. I saw it. You know my little. I did put that somewhere. I saw it in there. I think, like it was in a bag or something. This house carries so much noise. I don't know how, if when we get to the point where Angelina is just doing videos herself, I'd have no idea how we gonna function. Because this house is built in the late 80s and it carries noise. But anyways, so yeah, that's how I kind of got started. Oh, you was up late because your lady was sick. Yeah, it was a good discussion. I'm gonna take parts of it and cut it up and post it. I could have swore I saw it in there. Maybe on one of the shelves. Don't worry about it. It's not in my box, baby. I know what's in my box. It's not in my box. I get a massage if it's not in my box. What if I'm then vice versa. It's not in my box. You're doing the massaging tonight. Thank you. I like to. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I gotta do the video. All right, so the hunt for the poker is on. I know, because we both seen it somewhere. It's probably in the garage. She's trying to hide because she all house cleaning gear. So anyway. All right. So yesterday was my born day, my revolution, my 52nd revolution around the sun, my solar return for the 52nd time. And as with normal with me, about 3 days beforehand, I take stock. Take stock of my year. I take stock of the previous 10 years. I evaluate where I've improved, and then I evaluate where I'm lacking. Realizing that the only competition is truly between myself and myself, I spent the last few days really focused on that. A lot of people ignore their thank you. So silly. A lot of people ignore their, when the scar's not breathing, sometimes you need to get poke holes. But I like to try go through the middle first, since I already know where it's tough part. But a lot of people are afraid, and me and my aunt and my mom and one of my cousins were having this part of this conversation last night. They're afraid to ask themselves certain questions. They're afraid to expose themselves to themselves, which is the very person that they need to expose themselves to. Now, because of that, we don't always tell ourselves the truth about who we are. That's much better. So, for instance, in one of my time frames, I realized that procrastination was one of the things that was holding me down. But because of my efficiency in the Marine Corps, I didn't think I was a procrastinator. But then when I was out of the Marine Corps, and without having that system around me, no matter how I turn this hats always look crooked to me on these things. But no matter what was going on, I always felt I didn't think that I procrastinated. And then I took some time to evaluate myself, and I realized I did procrastinate. At that time frame, I would spend so much time on the internet, wasting time, not even doing research or figuring out things that I needed to have done in my life or anything of that nature. I was just wasting a whole bunch of time, looking at things that didn't matter at all. So then, but here's a bigger one. Guys. Here's a big one. And this is one that I most recently realized. And there's a few things I'm gonna tell you about my whole weekend as we get into the Hermetics. I realized that the only reason I ever started a business is because I know I'm not a good employee. I don't like being an employee. Being an employee is a worse feeling for me. I can't get this. I'm gonna have to get this hat right later. Being an employee is a worse feeling for me than working for myself. Do I want to start a business? Did I ever want to start a business? Not necessarily. Did I want a brick and mortar business? No. Do I want to go through all the hectics of running a business? No. I can, but it's not something that I truly want to have in my life. And me and Kevin were discussing about how in 2018 we was going to open a spiritual center. And I'm glad we never did. Because it's not me to be locked down, to have my time taken by somebody else. No matter if I'm in charge or not, you're still beholden to the employees, to the people. So even in that, reviewing my mind, reviewing my life, and really going into the parts and admitting, yeah, can I coach people in business, tell them how to run it, show them how to run a business, show them how to build a business? Sure, I've done it. I did it for myself. But when I was doing it, it wasn't something that I had this true big desire to have. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not like I can't do it because I've successfully done it. Whether it's the popcorn shop, the gym, or the cigars. I've done it without a doubt. But in my true heart of hearts, it's not what I really want to do. It's not how I want to live my life. This is where my life is. Having my free time to do this. But of course, like with anything, you have to make it pay. So that's why y'all need to keep sharing. This all does feed into the 7 Hermetic Principles. And one of the other things that fed into the 7 Hermetic Principles, and I'm going to do a separate video about this one, probably, is that during this 3 days, as a matter of fact, it was not last night, but the night before. You could call it a dream. You can call it a vision. But I talked to my dad the night before. Came to me. At first, I knew I was having these dreams. They were dreams. I understood the dreams. I saw the dreams. And then it's like in a moment, my father came into play. None of the other dreams had anything to do with him. And he basically demonstrated to me the principle of correspondence as it functions with the Book of the Dead. You see, he was in the best shape of his life that he's ever been in from pictures that I've seen. Right? He was, full. Well, he's always had a full head of hair, but there was no gray. He had the whole beard, no gray. He was slimmed down. He's never been a muscled up guy, but he had his slimmed down look. And he was happy. And here's the thing about it: he was still helping people. See, my father was one of these kind of guys where he liked helping people, especially when it related to the type of work that he did. He had a company that installed windows, insulation, and doors. Even people who complained a lot, he would find joy in their complaints. It would tickle him to have somebody, he go do the work for somebody, they complain about the work. He showed them that he did do it and did it correctly. And they would still, and then they would be like, oh, well, they still would complain, but be smiling about the complaining. And then they all go out and party and drink and dance and all that stuff. The very one that was just complaining, his personality would make them still want to hang out and laugh and joke. And for some reason, he liked that. To me, that would be irritating. But to him, that was joy. Right? And to the lady who was complaining, her complaining is part of her joy. So what he showed me, what I saw was that, in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, the idea is that once you make it across into the field of reeds, you live a similar life to the previous life that you was already living for all eternity. Like if you was a farmer with a family and all that kind of stuff, you're still going to be a farmer with a family and all that stuff. It's just you're doing it in the land of the gods. That's a basic idea of what happens in the afterlife for the Kemetic people in the Book of the Dead. And so my dad in the dream was demonstrating exactly that he manifested a heaven or afterlife that was all the things that he actually liked, that gave him happiness, even though it was things that would have irritated me. So I'm going to refer back to that when we talk about the law of correspondence, as above, so below. But it plays also into the law of mental living. So we'll talk about that as well. So as we get ready before we get started, let me see what Christian says, trying to help. I play this live over Bluetooth in my, what is that a picture of? For the last few weeks while I'm at work. Oh, okay. So all can hear. Don't get in trouble now. Grand Rising, Andrea. So when I had that dream or vision or radio, when I had that dream, vision, or visitation from my father, I really started thinking about the fact of, of our control over our universe, our control. Yeah, unless I would put my glasses on, but I'm being lazy. But how much we control our universe, how much we control every aspect, or rather how much we can control it, how much we can make it be what we desire for it to be. And I also had people coming to me telling me I need to be, asking me, not telling me, but asking me to be more aggressive in shutting down religion and freeing people from religion. That's the nicer way to put it. Freeing people from religion. Because y'all know I don't go chasing after people. I don't go look for people. I'm not that guy that's gonna say, okay, I want to go to the church. Well, I'm never gonna go to a church and try to bring people away. But when people get this is what they're doing, I usually just tell them, go do what you do. Right? Go do what you do. Oh, thank you, Dwayne. Appreciate that. We still gonna say that's birthday. That's a birthday gift. That's my born day gift from Dwayne. I appreciate it. But yeah, but just freeing people. And one of the first steps in my mind, and what's been shown to me, not just in the vision that I had of my father, but what's been shown to me in many other occasions, is that in order for people to get free, we have to be able to demonstrate how we control and change our lives and manifest things in our lives, not through some BS of prayer, but by utilizing the Hermetic laws, by mental alchemy of those Hermetic laws. So we're going to start on that today. Okay, this little top is getting on my nerves. We're going to start that myth today. I'm not a preacher, I'm a teacher. So don't expect me to ever start preaching unless I'm joking. But as a preacher would say, today is a new day. Today is a beginning. I ain't gonna do it. But it is. It's a new day. It's a new beginning. It's coming into our greatness. I say it at the end of almost every video. You know, you got to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable, right? Y'all hear me say that all the time. Yes, Michelle, before you even say anything, I'm going to get the t-shirts. Don't worry about it. Right? But we'll make it happen. But we truly do have to understand that. And yes, it is hard to wake up the sheep. The video I did the other day. Yeah, they are more like motivation speakers now. The video I did the other day, I said that I can't remember now what I was just about to say. Okay, it's hard working up a sheep. Starting there, got to free yourself to be yourself. Hell, I can't even remember this, but it'll come back. Anyway. So, what we have to do is to understand and learn our Hermetics. What we have to do is to understand where the 7 Hermetic Principles come from and whether or not we agree, where they come from, what they are, and how they function. Oh, now I remember what I was going to say. Because this God character of the Bible, the Quran, and any other book, in any other book, they performed miracles. They walked on water. They healed the blind. They did all these things way back in the day. And although every time one of those stories were written, none of them were written at the time frame that it supposedly happened, so that there was no one to challenge it. These people believe in it. They believe in this. So because they believe in it, that is why because they believe in miracles, we have to show them reality of how to do things, how to have a greater life. You know, the thing about it that the majority of people who are of a religion are lower income people. They're lower incomes. They're middle income. They're below 100K. You can put it that way. They're below 100K because we know only 10% of the world population is above 100K. Everybody else is the 90% is below 100K. Nothing wrong with making 60 and 70 and 80. That's fine. But the 6-figure income is not as achievable as they make it seem within religion. But in Hermetics, it's very much achievable because they pray and get no results, even though their book tells them that anytime they pray with and they have faith of a mustard seed, they'll get what they have. Anytime two of them come together in agreement and pray, then that God was supposed to give them everything they want, everything, whatever they're praying for. Their book tells them that. Yet they accept the fact that they don't get it. The only way that they're not getting it is if they don't have enough faith, they don't have the faith of a mustard seed, or the 2 people, 3 people, 5, 10 praying together are not in 100% agreement, walking around with doubt, which is one of the things I had to realize for myself over this time frame. I'm gonna be honest with you. There was a part of me prior to yesterday that did not believe that I could make a living doing this. It didn't. It doesn't. It didn't. It didn't. Prior to yesterday, there was part of me that said that, okay, yeah, I know other people who are making a living doing this, who are doing streaming and all that. It's not me. It's not me. It's not gonna be me. Right. And even though, I make some gas money, I was making a little gas money. I was like, okay, I'm making a little gas money. That's cool. That's great. Woo. But no meteoric rises and things of that nature. So I was like, nah. But I went through my own process of the 7 Hermetic Principles, and that doubt is gone. That doubt is gone. I will make the lifestyle that I truly desire right here. Social media. Right? Social media. I will make the lifestyle that I desire. And let me go on record, because I don't want y'all ain't gonna treat me like they be doing in pastors. I'm bougie, okay? I'm bougie. I am. But I don't ever ask y'all. That's why I'm grateful when people like Dwayne does a super chat. I'm grateful. I will never not be grateful for people who cash at me some money for my birthday, because I guess they got my cash app from somewhere. I don't know how they got my cash app. I don't know where my cash app is visibly located, but I was appreciative of that. But there's a way to earn income without asking people. I will never do like those pastors. So when I do bougie shit, just know it's not coming from the people, okay? When I trade services with people, when I coach people, I did trade services with them, so they're getting something in return. When I finish this books and write more books, and we do t-shirts, they're serviceable or products, so it will not be, donations and then take the people's donations and I'm gonna, and then you see me because the plan is to live an RV lifestyle for a number of years, right? That's the 2025 plan, RV lifestyle for a number of years. But I'm bougie. But I realize I'm gonna be bougie by making that living through this, and so ever since the previous night, all day on my birthday, I put myself in a meditative state to get rid of the doubt that I had about this. So how do I do that? That's the big question. How do I do it? What do I know that allows me to be able to do that? And I can tell you, it is the combination of understanding Hermetic alchemy that gets me there. Now, whether or not we attribute alchemy and Hermeticism to Thoth the Atlantean or Thoth the the Nubio-Kemetic, it doesn't matter. Personally, I think Atlantis probably did exist. So did probably Lemuria. I don't know about the Isle of Newt, but they probably existed. Well, the Isle of Newt probably existed as well. They were probably, because civilizations prior to the Younger Dryas. We ain't got enough proof, so I ain't going for it. Well, the proof to me is the fact that they believe these beings with greater technology were gods. That's in itself is enough that there must have been something, some connection, or they just made shit up. Well, part of it is they just made shit up. But anyway, that's not the main thing. It's the fact that I know Hermetic alchemy works. So whether the Greeks called them Hermes because they merged together. And yes, I am bougie, Renee. I am. I am. Proud of it too. Not that I can't enjoy simple things. I do. I enjoy the simple things as well. And I will just go ahead and just ride with stuff. Like this hat don't want to act straight, get right. There's that part of me that would be like, no, I can't wear it then, or got to take it somewhere to get it done right. But I am bougie. I like nice stuff. Well, I like to do nice things, not so much stuff. I like to do nice things. So put that way. But anyway, so like Jim Rohn said a long time ago, well, a while back, he said sometimes you can't be too busy looking at the root while others are gathering the fruit. Right? Oh, the style finna really change, baby. It's really gonna change. But like I don't like wearing jeans in public, especially. But I got a bunch of them, so I'm still wearing them because if I buy something, I gotta use it. But I don't replace jeans. I won't replace any more jeans. I might keep one pair just in case I ever decide to work outside somewhere, like in a yard or something, which I probably ain't gonna do that since I plan on the RV lifestyle. But anyway, but now I have jeans for riding motorcycles. So riding motorcycles, I still have jeans. Grand Rising, Brian. So we know that Pythagoras waited 20 years to go study with the Nubio-Chemetics and learn Hermetic alchemy. And out of that, he went back to Croton and started the Pythagoreans, which then pretty much created the entire Greek civilization. We know that people from all over the world came to Egypt, came to Kemet to learn this knowledge. That the Sumerians, they came to learn this knowledge. The people in the Indus Valley came to learn this knowledge. That there are still higher levels of it with certain organizations that I plan to one day become a part of. So, and I've said this before on these lives. If anybody is a pyramid priest, let me know. Let me know. And I just need to know because I need to become a part of a pyramid priest, the pyramid priesthood. Let me know. Because to learn those secrets, that deeper knowledge, that higher consciousness of Hermetic alchemy, that's where I want to go. That's what I want. I want that. And this hat is getting on my nerve. For some reason on camera, it always looks worse than it feels. Even though I said that already. But I got to know it. I have to know that information. Now, I'm going to take these hats, get them steamed, and shake them. But I have to know that information. I need to know it. But let's go with what we know now, and what I've been able to discover beyond what others may other organizations I'm part of know about hermetic alchemy and how we can put it together. So if you really wanted to go into a deep dive and go through the book, the Kybalion, from front to back, on my YouTube channel, there is a playlist called Kybalion, the Kybalion. We read the book. We read the book. And we discussed it. And I think it's 13 videos, 13, 14 videos. That's how long it will take to go through the Kybalion in that deep. But let's talk about how we can use it on a base level right now. You see, there are 7 Hermetic Principles. And when those people came out with The Secret, they gave you a couple of the Hermetic Principles. They gave you the law of mentalism, right? That was the main one they pushed. All is mind. The universe is mental. That's all they talk about. Whatever you think about, whatever you focus on, it'll manifest. They left out most of the other laws. They left out the second law, which is the law of correspondence. As above, so below. Everything that is, if you remember in the Bible, I actually quoted it the other day when I said that in a video when I was talking about how if they pray for anything, they're supposed to get it. Whatever you bound in heaven will be bound on earth. Whatever you loose in heaven will be loose on earth. How many of y'all remember that from your Christian upbringing? How many of y'all remember that? Whatever you bound in heaven is bound on earth. Whatever you loose in heaven is loose on earth. And if you ask your Father with faith, then whatever you ask for, it will be done. Seek and ye shall find. Asking you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be answered. But how many of y'all remember what you loose in heaven will be loose on earth? What's bound in heaven will be bound on earth. I appreciate the share, LaQuinn. That's how we build this group. Get those numbers up. All right. The Bible writers were basically quoting the law of correspondence. As above, so below. So below, as above. As within, so without. Again, when we did the Gospel of Thomas, it's in the playlist on YouTube. We got to one of the verses where it said, if you don't loose what's on the inside to the outside, then you are poverty. That the kingdom is all around you, but blinders have been placed on you so that you cannot see it. That this is the poverty, and what's inside, that's the glory. Right? If the soul came into being because of the body, then that would be a miracle of miracles. But the body came into being because of the soul. But there is a duality in that, which is where they don't talk about in that secret book. They didn't talk about the law of polarity. Everything exists on the pole. We're going to talk about these in more detail. They talked a little bit about the law of cause and effect. They didn't talk about the law of rhythm. But you need the law of rhythm. You need to understand the law of rhythm in order for you to understand the law of cause and effect. You got to understand, and they didn't talk about the law of vibration. Well, no, my bad. They did talk about vibration, but they gave a bullshit version of it. You got to raise your vibration. That's all they say. And you hear people yelling that all the time. Raise your vibration. Raise your vibration. How? How do I raise my vibration? You know what I'm saying? How do I raise my vibration? You just use some of your Amazon points to order the Kybalion? Cool. I expect an update on your thought process on it. And if you want to companion it with my videos, go to that playlist on YouTube and we read through it. But how do you raise your vibration? That's the part they didn't tell you. They'll say, oh, be around, if you want to be successful, hang around successful people. That's a little bit part of it, but There's still more to it because those successful people may kick you to the curb if your mentalism ain't right. And then, of course, there's the law of gender, which I think is one of the most important laws. Without the law of gender, then no creation can ever happen. There is no creation with the law of gender. There is no mental creation without the law of gender. So the law of gender is as valuable, as important as the law of mentalism, because without it, the law of mentalism doesn't work. I want you to think about that. They didn't talk about this in the secret. And most of the time, pastors and other people don't talk about this. But without the law of gender, you cannot manifest anything. Nothing will ever be manifested. This hat is going to get on my nerves. Forget it. Forget it. No hat today, y'all. No hat. Just head. Just my head today. No hat. Because that hat is killing me. It's distracting. Your favorite part is the law of polarity. We're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. We're going to get the full 3 hours in today. Definitely that. We're getting the full 3 hours. So, let us begin. Since we have a brief overview of each law, let's go into more detail. Although the first law is the law of mentalism, I cannot start with the first law when I'm teaching this. I cannot start with the law of mentalism as I teach it. And I'm going to tell you, this became incredibly vital in my growth, in my understanding. Love the no hat look. Oh, well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. But this became very vital in me being able to utilize the 7 Hermetic Principles. Is understanding a proper order. You see, I truly believe that there are those who try to hide these secrets right in front of your face. The best way to hide something is out in the open, right? We know that through wisdom, but yet when we see things out in the open, we often don't recognize them. And many people, although many people know these Hermetic laws, they still struggle. Vibration and consciousness is the new earth. I thought I was far enough away. New earth, 5D, okay. Where we are all in nature we are all in nature to nurture. Love has conquered hate. Hate has conquered death. We'll get into that. Save that thought in case I don't. When we talk about the law of polarity, remind me of that. Right. And many cultures do carry oral traditions. And it's not public knowledge. But even in the public knowledge, if you try to access or manifest anything through using hermetism or the law of attraction, whichever you want to call it, if you try to follow it in the way that almost every book talks about it, by first trying to invoke the law of mentalism, you will fail, or you will only go halfway. You will only halfway solve the issue. You will only manifest a portion of it. That was my life earlier in my life. That was my life when I owned Designer Alternative, which was a Designer Alternative sunglasses and watches shop and candles. Sure, I can make it rise, but it would always hit that ceiling, right? And then I would get fatigue and it'll drop. UC Fitness, my fitness company, rise up. And I've always was able to get it where I'm making 6 figures in either company, and then it hit that ceiling. And I get fatigued, and then I let it go. Sold it. Uncle Ren's popcorn. Bring it up, get fatigued, starts going down. And I was in that process with the cigars. It was rising up. But I knew, I started recognizing, I know what the pattern is. I have to break the pattern. And so I started working on social media. I didn't want to break the pattern with cigars. I wanted to break the pattern with social media. I wanted to break the pattern with coaching. So I started the pattern with coaching first. I started the pattern with this. And in order to do that, the first thing you have to understand is that the first thing you start with is the law of gender. It is not the law of mentalism that you start with. That is why today we are going to first start with the law of gender, right? The law of gender basically states that in order to manifest anything, there is the masculine and feminine principles, the masculine and feminine energies, that nothing can be created without both masculine and feminine energy being present. And there is a balance to it. The balance is not to say that it's 50-50, but the balance of masculine and feminine energy is enough masculine and enough feminine to manifest whatever it is you are manifesting. If you are manifesting something that is heavy, that in order for it to be successful is heavy on the masculine side, then you're going to have more masculine energy than feminine energy, but yet there is still feminine energy required. So you might be 60-40, 70-30, 80-20. We know that the 80-20, the true 80-20 rule says that 20% of what you do, what you have, products, create 80% of the results. Like if you're in a relationship, 20% of what you do actually gives you 80% of the happiness, gives 80% of the happiness to your mate. 20% of the things that they do actually gives you 80% of the happiness that you get from them. It is not that we get rid of the rest of the 80, but we don't give as much attention to the 80. We focus on the 20, right? If you read that book, The Love Languages, that was the basic principle of that. Figure out the top 2 things that your mate receives loves from and focus on that. Focus on that 80% of the time, and that person should feel love. If they do it back to you, it works. So balancing your masculine and feminine doesn't mean they're equal. I'm not saying that at all. But it's understanding how much masculine, how much feminine is required in order to manifest whatever it is you desire. Right? It's like if a couple is running a business together. He's going to have duties, she's going to have duties. One, depending upon the business, one may have more duties than the other person. But it's relative to the type of business. A guy I know who, I knew him, their hair salon was next to my gym. Well, 2 doors over from my gym. She was the hairdresser. She knew all the things about hair. She understood the products. She knew how to do all of that and knew if the other hairdressers, because all of them worked for them, they didn't do the booth rental thing. Well, all of them worked for them. Her feminine energy was making sure the ladies knew how to do the job right, that they was constantly doing it right, that the customer service was right, the environment was engineered to bring women in. So all her feminine energy, there was way more feminine energy involved. His masculine energy was payroll, taxes, making sure it was an Aveda salon, making sure that they were selling a certain percentage or amount of Aveda products, no booth rental, but that everybody wasn't a paid employee, but not doing that. So his masculine was that much, while her feminine was that much. And it was a multi-million-dollar a year business because they had the right balance of masculine and feminine. So when you are looking to manifest something, what is the balance of masculine and feminine energy that is required in order for it to be manifested? If you do not start there and understand that, whatever you manifest, it will manifest. It can manifest, but will it manifest at its full potential? Will it be and become what you truly desire for it to become? So you have to know what it is. This is why you have to know all of them. This is why polarity will come into play. You have to know it. You have to figure out what pole are we talking about. I'm using Angie's Disney coffee cup because I was going to go and buy some firewood before I started this. And I was going to do this outside, but it's too cold. But understanding, I want you to know that you have to understand that before you journey into any type of thing that you desire to manifest, any change that you want to have in your life. One of the funny things is when I was a personal trainer, right? Can't tell right now. Give it a few months. And then Christians removed that balance when women were removed from the original Trinity. You're absolutely correct. In the ancient world, all the trinities in the ancient world prior to this Christianity were mother, father, son, right? And others were just mother, father, and a litany of children. It wasn't always a son. The son was primary because of the SUN, sin, and the God sin, and I forgot his wife. They have a child, and that child is Shemesh, which is the son. But Anu and Ki had multiple children, not just Enlil. And Enlil represented the wind. He wasn't even representation of the SUN. Anu was the sky. But in the original, the older version, Anu and Namu, the primordial, which is female, created everything. So, and in the Gnostics, the monad created with Sophia created the universe. Sophia being the feminine. So that mindset has always been around. All right. All right, Brian. Come back. But we have to think about that first. That we got to find the proper balance of masculine and feminine in order for us to do that. And the first thing is to find that within yourself. You have to find it within yourself. Ubuntu, mother, father, and child. Some of the things, when we're talking, and men are going to have men have a difficulty time gaining and recognizing the feminine within them because of culture. But then the opposite on women, the culture is telling women to overdevelop their masculinity. Men hide your femininity, or else you'll be called, you're looked at being sus or cis or gay. Hide that. Push that down deep. Don't look into it. Don't accept it. Don't admit it. Whereas women become a man, become more masculine, dominate, rule, instruct. Don't let anybody run over you. Be hard. Be an independent. Throwing everybody out of balance. Everybody's out of balance. I was talking to my son last night. Before I get off the phone, tell my son that I love him. And then it's a little joke with us, but then I'll say it back, say it. And he'll, I love you too. A man telling another man, no. My friend Brandon sends me a born day text yesterday. Send me a born day text yesterday. But I also will say it publicly because he said it on Facebook. I've said it on Facebook. Happy born day to my brother. I love you. I told him thank you. I love you too. We'll even say that on Facebook sometimes. I tell him that I love him. I tell him that I'm proud of him. But in most circles, men aren't allowed to do that. If a man is nurturing to his children when they're babies, it's fine. As they get older, it's a problem. I hugged my son when he was small. I'll hug my son now that he's 22 years old. I hugged my brother when I was little. I'll hug my brother now. It's nothing wrong with men being in touch with their emotions, knowing their emotions, feeling their emotions. But this world is telling you that you can't. There's nothing wrong with a man being nurturing to a woman in ways that aren't just overtly sexual, that are more just giving. It's fine. It's safe. But if you don't find that balance within you and you just rough and tumbled all the time, overly aggressive all the time, agitated all the time, then you cannot succeed in manifesting anything. Not to the level that you desire. It's not. It cannot work. Think about it in football, right? Defensive lineman. I love them. Great example. Defensive lineman. Does every the most successful defensive lineman in football, do they bull rush all the time? Or do they have spin moves and swipe moves and swim moves? Do they have a whole bunch of finesse? A bunch of finesse moves that gets them past the offensive lineman to the quarterback or the running back? Or is it just a straight bull rush? Because a straight bull rush would be just straight masculine. I'm going to show you that I'm stronger than you and I'm just going to push you out the way. Or when those hands come up and I'm going to swim through you and get back into the backfield. The most successful, they know how to bull rush and swim, bull rush and spin. They have finesse and straight just run through you. Herschel Walker, either he was gonna run through you or he was gonna finesse you. What's my boy out of Detroit? Barry Sanders. He can run you over, or he can make you look foolish. Walter Payton. I know I'm showing my age. Walter Payton. Sweet feet. You think he over there? He over there somewhere. The best have always been able to show both. The absolute best. Why would it be any different in any other aspect of your life? In a marriage, in a business, in every aspect of life, you have to have a balance of masculine and feminine. And that goes for the women too now. It goes for the women. You might be a boss at work, but you can't come home being a boss. You might be at work and you tell everybody to do something and everybody jumps. That don't work at home if you have a real man. Now, if you are married to a boy, you are in a relationship with a boy, you got one of them deltas, them delta males at your house, then yeah, you're doing it because you ain't got a choice because he ain't gonna do shit but whatever you tell him to do. Because that's his level of mentality. But if you truly have a man Coming home with the same mentality that you may have to have when you're at work, because maybe at work you have to have that because your job requires more masculinity, more of your masculine energy. But at home, home does not. That in itself, for both men and women, work may require more of your masculinity. Home requires more of your feminine energy. And it's not about chores and who has roles in the house. I'm not talking about that. You set that up however you want to. But home is the place where you nurture each other. Work is the place where you're giving instructions and you making other shit happen. But home is for nurturing. He nurtures you, you nurture him. You can't come home starting arguments. You can't come home trying to act like you're still at work and bossing folks around. We were witnessing, me and Angelina were witnessing a couple. And we was witnessing the fact that there were no please and thank yous being said. Where are the please and thank yous that are being said between this couple? And we weren't seeing it. There were no, and we noticed it, like there's no please and thank yous. Where's the nurture? So you got to get that feminine energy and that masculine energy in balance within yourself and all through life. How you take care of yourself. I need to get my masculine energy in that goddamn gym that's in the next room. Right? That masculine energy need to get in there. That masculinity need to happen in there. All right. So every aspect of your life, there is the balance of the masculine, and you have to know how much of it and when to apply it. If you want the law of mentalism to begin to start the process for you. And the law of mentalism is, as stated, all is mind. The universe is mental. That everything that you see in front of you and all the things that you cannot see is an energetic projection from the mind of the all. It's a mental projection. In proper manners, exactly. Proper manners. You never thought about it that way? Yeah. That's a truly successful life with someone can only work that way. You have people who just put up with each other. They're just there because of habit and they've been there and they're comfortable. But I believe in having a happy house. But you got to get yours straight first. If you ain't happy, you can't make anybody else happy. You're gonna mess up their happiness if you ain't happy. But so that's the law. So the law of gender, it takes masculine and feminine. But the law of mentalism, everything is mental. Everything is mind. The universe is mind. Whether you believe in a deity or not. So I'm gonna tell you the type of deity that I accept. I accept that there is an intelligent mind at work that manifested the universe. That we are all, whether you call it a simulation or projection, but we are all dwelling in the mental image of the all. In the same way that I have dreams and that you have dreams, an entire universe is created in your dreams. That dream is fleeting to you, but could be billions of years to them. But as long as you're dreaming and those entities are in your mind, they are alive. They're living in your dream. They're doing things in your dream. Every dream I have is not just me focused on the one thing interaction. The more my mind grows, the more my consciousness grows, I dream of entire civilizations, and there are people or beings, there's things happening that are I'm not giving as much attention to. There are butterflies flying in the background, right? There's people doing other things in the background, driving down the street in the background, things I'm not focused on. The things that I don't necessarily always remember from the dream. So there's an entire universe that's created in my mind. And I can sit right now and I can manifest an entire universe in my mind. And I can make in my mind, I can see billions of years pass by. I can see growth and development. Now, is my mentalism strong enough that I can see the very details of everything? No. But that doesn't negate that it's happening. So the mind of the all manifested everything as a mental projection of a dream, of a thought, of a meditation. I will never know and have no idea the process to which the all has manifested this entire universe. Because the dream can never be outside of the dreamer, can never be greater than the dreamer. No problems, Oki. Grand Rising. So that law of mentalism is simply that in the same way that the all manifested everything in this universe, you manifest the same way. You are like the all. You're not the all, but you're like the all. Right? That's a teaching that's hidden within the little Christians and Gnostics. Let us make man in our own image. Is to say that in the same way that the all created, we create. We are in that same image. So I accept that there's an all, a creative mind. But that this creative mind just created the universe and that's it. It doesn't Geppetto anyone's lives, doesn't come down and split Red Seas. It doesn't descend down on tops of mountains or any of those things that you read in the book of this anthropomorphized beings that's coming and existing with us. It just is. It created because it just created. There was no push for it to create. If a being who is supposed to be the all requires and needs love, needs praise, then that means that the love and the praise is actually stronger than the being because it forced the being to do something. You cannot be the all. You cannot be God if there are other forces that causes you to do something or be a certain way. You're not the all then. Grand Rising Debbie. So there's no way that the way that any of these books, other than the Tao and the Kybalion, the Tao and the Kybalion are the only two books that describes the all. You know, the Tao says that the way that can be named is no longer the way. The way that can be put in the book is no longer the way. Though that the way is unknowable and undescribable. And the Kybalion, I believe Lao Tzu must have picked that up from understanding their Hermetics, because the Kybalion, the Emerald Tablet states the same thing. The all is unknowable and undescribable. And no amount of descriptions can ever do it. Michelle says she appreciates the beauty of nature. So do I. And if it wasn't so cold, y'all will be appreciating some nature right now because we'd be outside with the bird. But y'all know I got some loud birds though. They be chirping and in that backyard. But even in the beauty of nature, you cannot describe it. It will be a poor description of the all. Somebody ever ask you, what is it? Describe being in love. You can't. I've never heard anybody give me a good, complete description of the feeling of being in love. And notice, I said in love. There's a difference between loving someone and being in love with someone. Dope. I can love you and not ever want to be around you. Yeah, I appreciate the observing it too. But to describe nature, to describe love, it's nigh impossibility. It is nigh an impossibility to describe nature. Like Imagine trying to describe the color green to a person who was born blind. There's no basis of for you. There's no way. Is it? How can you describe it? Oh, it's vibrant. They've never seen light. You see what I'm saying? So describing the all is an impossibility. Trying to say that you know the all, you know who God is and what God is and what his desires are. No. The all just created simply because it created. The all is science. The all is energy. Right? It is just a constant. It is the mind. So the thing about the now here's the deeper understanding of that. When you recognize that the all is unknowable and undescribable, and the all just created simply because it creates, that it has that it cannot be the all if it requires praise and worship, and that if it has all these emotions that humans have, then you come to realize that there is no need for prayer, there is no need for fear, there's no need for fear or shame or guilt. It actually allows you to open your chakras. I see many people who teach people how to open their chakras, but I'm always wondering, where are the Hermetics in their teaching? If you're not teaching the Hermetics, you are not opening your chakra. Because if you do not have a clear understanding that there is no reason to live in fear of hell or heaven, because I actually fear heaven. I would actually, let me rephrase that. If I was in religion, when I was in religion, I feared heaven more than I feared hell. I figured I can go down to hell and start a revolution, or I would just get a good job in hell. Heaven was terrifying because it was boring as hell. It was completely boring. And the idea of praising some deity that required praise for all eternity, what kind of narcissistic being is this? So I didn't want, I thought heaven was a trick. It was a trick. It was a trick. It was a bait and switch. So I leaned forward, but the microphone's like right here if I want to get like into it, you know what I mean? But you can't open your chakras if you don't understand that there's no reason for, because your base chakra is based on fear, right? It's held back because of fear. It's blocked because of fear. If you are in fear of a deity, in fear of a punishment from this deity, how can you ever fully open your base chakra? You see what I'm saying? So when people say that, I'm like, no. When they say you're going to open that up, oh, just don't fear, go at what you fear, you know, fight what you fear. Those are some good things as far as human things. But when it comes to spiritual things, because there's as above, so below, when it comes to that, you will still always carry a fear of a deity, fear of a hell. Therefore, your chakra can never be fully open. Yeah, there's a lot of churches that teach that getting to do with chakras and yoga was evil. But they teaching it in a certain way. They still teach it in a certain way. But we have to understand that the all is not some being that's all involved in your life. If anything, you could say that the all does not care about your life. Right? The all doesn't care about your life. The all is not focused on you. It's not saying I'm wondering if, I'm wondering if Marcus is gonna act right. Grand Rise Marcus, you popped up, so that's why you get named in this one. I'm running if is Marcus acting right? Is Marcus doing what he's supposed to do? Is Marcus worshiping me? Is he sacrificing goats? Is he living the life that I want him to live? No. It's not concerned about that. He left that was left in our hands. Our hands. Now, if Marcus is out doing things that is against society, it is society's responsibility to correct Marcus. It is society's responsibility to punish Marcus. if he breaks the rules of society. Your birthday was yesterday, correct? Happy birthday. How old are you now? Thank you. Yes, yesterday was my born day. I am 52 years old now. 52 years young. I'm I am a little bit over the third of my life. I plan to live to be 150. So when you recognize that the all is not doing all of this stuff, and you begin to open your chakras, and you're not living in fear, shame, guilt, and what most Christians won't understand, because I know somebody's they're gonna hear this point, and then they're coming to me, oh, you just want to live and do evil stuff. You cannot become a conscious being and then be a disturbance to society in that type of negative way. You cannot do things against other people that you would not want done to you or your family or the people that you care about. So the morality that they think comes from their deity is truly the morality that comes from raising your consciousness. We are just a higher conscious people today compared to how people were 1,000 years ago and 2,000 years ago and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6,000 years ago. Right? Thank you, LaQuinn. We recognize that women should be treated equally for the most part. We recognize that you shouldn't sacrifice people or babies. We recognize that you should not violate the sanctity of a woman. We recognize you shouldn't violate the sanctity of a man. Right? What's up, Willie? Grand Rising. We are, our consciousness, our universal consciousness has increased since 2,000 years ago. So morality is not based on a religion, but based on the evolution of the mind. Happy born day, Earth. Happy be Earth Day. And people say that one too. Brett's 55. So when you recognize that, it's freedom. Now it's freedom for you to understand the things such as the divine paradox and how we are created in the all. And the all is in everything, but everything is not the all. You would always know, if you were the all, you would know that you're the all. You would know every mechanism of the universe. You know everything. But if you were the all, then you would be outside of the all, and therefore you cannot be a creation of the all. If you are a creation within the realm of the all, you cannot ever step outside of that realm. That would make you greater than that. The creation can never be greater than the creator. It doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen the same way we expect our children to do 10 to 20% better than we did. It doesn't work that way. Yeah. Spider-Man can never step outside of the writers of Spider-Man, the creators of Spider-Man. Can never happen. Spider-Man will always be within the realm of the comic book. Othello can never be anything more than what Shakespeare wrote of him. Tom Sawyer can never be greater than Mark Twain. He can only be what Mark Twain writes him to be. Medea can only be what Tyler Perry makes Medea be. It can't be autonomous from him, because it's just parts of him. It's just a part of him. But Medea is not the fullness of him. So that's how we understand the divine paradox. The all is in everything, but everything is not the all. Just parts, just aspects. This is why when the Europeans came to the Indus Valley, and they said, "Oh, you're paganistic. You're paganistic." When they went to West Africa and met the Yoruba, they said, "You're paganistic. You're paganistic." In their original teachings, Brahma is the all. All the other Krishnas and everybody else, was an aspect. And that's a teaching that was lost or covered up and changed, I should say. Other universes like or comparative mythologies, the writers have the power to make and change either narrative. Yes. Whoever the writers are, they can make the deity be whatever they desire for the deity to be. That's why every writing, when you realize what time frame that they're writing it, that's why it's important to realize the time frame that they're writing it. And also, some Christians theists use the excuse, oh, excuse, special pleadings for the all in regards to the intelligence, and like you said, things causing it to do what it does, according to the theist belief, and that this all can do what it wants when it wants. Right? That is a huge excuse that they use. Because it is the creator, it can do what it wants when it wants. Mm-hmm. All that coming down and splitting waters. Yeah. And that's the thing. If the all came down and did all those things out of emotions, out of the desire to have a special group, then it's not the all. The all can't have human like qualities of those emotions that rule it. Those emotions can't rule it. That's why you love Jesus Christ, to want to kill the creation. Mm. And it's interesting. The Jesus of Matthew and Mark are very different from the Jesus of John and Luke. He changes. He does more miracles. He's more talkative. But he changes because the writers are changing. And decades have went by. So people are adding to the stories. And he gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then when he gets to Paul, he's really different. The Paulinian letters are very, very different. That is what they try to drill in our heads. No, you can beat Christ. You can beat, and let me put it this way: you can beat Jesus, but the Christ, what would be called the Christ mind, that's different. That's a different thing. The anointed mind is different than the being of Jesus. But this Jesus did not have the Christ mind. Even the character that they created didn't have the Christ mind, because this character, if it had the Christ mind, then it would have spoke out on inequality of men and women more so than anything else. It would have spoke out on slavery. It would have spoke out on sacrifices. It would have had a morality that is higher than the morality that we have today. But the Christ character that's created didn't have a higher morality than what we have today. So therefore, that being that the Josephus talks about 4 different Jesuses. None of them would have the anointed mind. Right, didn't have Christ consciousness. I'm not sure what you mean by the Son of Man title, Guide to Enlightenment. Not sure what you mean by that. Are deities nothing more than egregores? I can't remember what egregores are. What are those? We don't have much on Melchizedek. I did a video about that, Willie. Melchizedek is basically the king of Solomon. I mean, the king of Sodom. He's not the king of Salem. That was later changed for him to be the king of Salem so they can connect him to Jerusalem. But he was the king of Sodom that Abraham supposedly whooped their butt. No, he's the son of the king of Sodom. Sorry, not the king of Sodom, but would be the son of the king of Sodom. And after they lost to Abraham, he then came to Abraham, and Abraham gave him everything. So he literally came to Abraham twice. First and got a tithe, and then the second time was given everything back. So, but we're doing these hermetics today. So let's try to keep it. If you're going to reference the Bible, reference it in connection to the hermetics. Yeah, I did a video within the last 2 weeks about Melchizedek. And remember, the Levitical priesthood was created out of nepotism from Moses to his brother Aaron. It was pure nepotism at work. Now, so this law of mentalism, because once we understand that we are similar in the all in the way that we create, because we don't create, we don't have that, because we're in the mind of the all, there is no such thing as nothingness, right? There's no void. Although we have the term void, there, there's a void over there, or there's a black hole over there. There's matter with an energy within the black hole. There's matter and energy within the void. You could call the air in the room the void because we can't see the matter material, but we know that the H2O, I mean not H2O, the O in the air, the oxygen, has molecules. It has atoms and electrons and protons and neutrons, and even in between the the spaces within the atom, there is also more matter. There is dark matter. There's no such thing as emptiness, right? A non-physical entity that arises from the collective thoughts of people. Oh, the egregore thing. Okay, so that's what an egregore is. A non-physical entity that arises from the collective thoughts of people. Yeah, all those. Well, I ain't gonna say all of them, but many of those deities are. The only other possibility is that they are intelligent civilizations that existed prior to the destructive force of the Younger Dryas period, and they are the survivors of those civilizations. And the people, because they had greater technology, thought that they were gods. And that is true. Enough people believe in it, then it becomes real. Now, I do think that some of the stories about the Sumerians, the Nubio-Kemetic, in Indus Valley, the Chinese, the whole ancient alien thing, I think is more of an ancient civilization prior to the Younger Dryas. And they just thought that those were aliens. They thought that they were gods. And now today we think that they were aliens. But I think that they were pre-Younger Dryas civilizations. They fit history. They fit history better as a pre-Younger Dryas civilization than they fit as aliens. And definitely they're not gods. But I think after those Anunnakis or Atlanteans or Lemurians stopped dealing with humans or died out, we started creating the egregores. We start creating those. We start making up shit. You know, the god that lives in the volcano that caused the volcano to explode, those are the ones that are completely just made up. But when they describe the gods and that they're coming and they're dwelling with them and they got to feed them and they got to clothe them, and you know, they're descending on mountains and they're flying in ships and they're having battles in the sky, pre Younger Dry civilizations. So Kemetic and Hermeticism. Oh, I like Kemeticism. I like that because the Hermetics is because of the merger of Hermes. How does that link to Moses slash Hermes? Moses is not Hermes, and their superiors Dionysus and Zeus. Hermes was connected to Thoth, uh, not at all connected to Moses. Now Hermes is connected to Zeus, but Thoth is then connected to Enlil. I mean, not Enlil, to Enki. But if I went down your line, uh, without the other thought process, if it deals with mental manipulation, wouldn't it be teaching? Wouldn't it be teaching if the source or father? I'm not really understanding your question. Wouldn't it be teachings if the source or father? Teachings of the source? It would be teachings of the source, but Moses and Dionysus and Zeus a little bit. Wait a minute, let's see. Zeus go back to the thing. Was Zeus does go back to source, a primordial uh, creation, but then it becomes all humanized. Joseph's going to heaven for enlightenment, and then the scepter of Judah. That's all. Well, alchemy and hermeticism does involve magic, and people then start just creating magical stuff that ain't got shit to do with it. But understand that ain't got nothing to do with it in reality. But the original magic was just to get your mind in the right space for creation, not literal abracadabra and my coffee cup is refilled through magic. Nobody's throwing down staffs and the staffs turning into snakes. That's not happening. Yeah, Thoth and Hermes are merged together when the Greeks came and conquered Egypt. All right, but we getting. I don't want to go off of what we're talking about. So the material manipulation, though, no, they're not. They're not manipulating the idea. Okay, going through the scientific process of converting metals to gold, uh, lead to gold, rather, it's not to be taken literally, right? Although the Hermetists practice metallurgy, the alchemists practice the Hermetists and the alchemists practice metallurgy. It is not for the literal transforming it into gold. There is a process. There is a teaching. One that's came out recently. There is a teaching, a hidden teaching, and I actually got the book. I got a copy of it of how to create the Philosopher's Stone, which the Philosopher's Stone is then supposedly turns any metal object into gold. Right? Haven't started the process yet. Right? I gotta get this right before I start that process. It could take anywhere from 6 months to 3 years if done correctly. But converting the philosopher's stone and converting metal to be able to create a stone that can turn base metals into gold and give you a longer life, revitalizes your cell, your body to the cellular level, uh, is the physical application to take in your thoughts and turn in your thoughts from lead to gold, right? This is why a person who is a practicing alchemist, hermetist, cometist, I like that, cometist, does not have a lower morality, because if your thoughts are constantly being put into the fire, and if they're being banged and melted in the fire, cool, put in the water, hammered and hammered and hammered, like when you're making a sword to knock off, I forgot what that stuff they call it, the slack, knock off the slack, so that you can get a more pure metal. Your thoughts gaining purer and purer and purer. You cannot be a low morale person if you are practicing alchemy and hermetism. You cannot. And that's the thing about the law of mentalism. The higher you grow in alchemy, your mental manifestations are not, I'm going to mentally manifest something that makes me uh, so powerful that I'm ruining people's lives, that I'm, you know, creating companies that are ruining people's lives, that I'm scamming people out of their money. I created a scam company. Like, even though some of those scam companies, the person who created, they might be making a bunch of money and have a bunch of material things. They are not alchemists. They are not hermeticists, because they are manifesting evil in their thoughts. They are vibrating low. That's why the government made mushrooms illegal, because you can go into another realm of consciousness. You are absolutely right, Michelle. And that's me and my aunts and my mom and all them. We was having a conversation about that. I was telling them about what mushrooms do last night. I love my family because they accept they, even though most of them are Christian, they they listen, and they listen without too much judgment. Although one of my cousins, I do want to see her on mushrooms. I think it'd be funny as shit. The Egyptians and Romans are the manna, the white powdered monatomic gold. Now, monatomic gold is supposed to be like the runoff coming from the smelting of gold, the purification of gold, I believe. And it's supposed to be that elixir of life, but that's a swerve. The monatomic is not the elixir of life. It's a complete swerve, getting people into the wrong mindset. Got people, and people did ingest metals. Now, it's true. Certain amounts of metal in your body does, applied the right way, gives you better thought processes, clarity, faster thinking, but it also kill you. But that's not the elixir of life. What's colloidal gold? I don't think I've ever heard of that before. What is that? But in so why he's gonna tell me what colloidal gold is? The mind, your mind, balanced between its masculine and its feminine, you then can begin the process of manifesting whatever it is you're going to manifest. But if you're practicing it correctly, you cannot manifest uh, missiles. You cannot manifest attacking and killing people. You cannot manifest rape and murder, stealing. Those will not be the things that you manifest at that point. You know what's a good example of it? Groundhog Day. You ever see the movie Groundhog Day? Grand Rising Norman, I appreciate the comment. All my Facebook people, everybody got to at least comment one time. So stop hiding. Yeah, boost nervous system, energy, and muscle. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that. I've seen the Blue Man. Is that what happened to him? Okay. I've seen the Blue Man. I forgot what happened to him, but that's what happened to him. But okay, so what did I just say? I just that if you're practicing alchemy in your mind, you're not going to manifest murders and all that sort of thing. Said he took much. He said he took too much silver. Yeah, John Dees. I think that's what killed him because he was practicing alchemy. Thank you, Dwayne. Oh, somebody did a. Who did a star? I like to thank people when they do something. Oh, that was Dwayne Star. Gotcha. They just called it starred. Uh, so you have to start the process of purifying your thoughts, purifying your mind. That means you have to let go of gender, as far as like, well, I mean, sexism. You have to let go of sexism, thinking that one sex is greater than the other. True, in certain aspects, we're built for certain things. That goes back to the law of gender. We're built to do certain things better than the other sex. But when I say equal, remember the last part of the Gospel of Thomas when the disciples were complaining, why is Mary among us? Kick her, get away from her. She shouldn't be around us. And then this Christ character, this Jesus character, says, don't worry, I will make her like you males. See, he practiced sexism at that point. Yes, as a female, she's not, because they were saying women aren't worthy of the kingdom of heaven. And he said, don't worry, I will make her like you males so that she will become worthy of the kingdom of heaven. That's sexism. This Jesus character is doesn't have a Christ consciousness because he's still practicing sexism. So it is not that the female needs to become male in order for her to receive the kingdom, to be able to see the kingdom. Remember, he said the kingdom is all around you, and the kingdom is inside of you and outside of you. It says that in the Gospel of Thomas. But then he makes this sexist comment, not the Christ mind, not Christ consciousness, the Jesus character. Ooh, that's a whole nother good video. Why Jesus does not have Christ consciousness. I'm gonna write that down, even though I'm not at my desk, so I can't write it down. But I'm gonna write that down in my mind. So you can't have sexism. You can't have nationalism. You have to rise above nationalism. You have to rise above racism. You have to rise above all those things in order for you to actually have a Christ consciousness or a Buddha head. To get into that level you have to get into that level. Now, recognize you have to deal with it. You have to recognize I'm a woman. I'm not walking through a dark park in the middle of at 1 o'clock in the morning by myself in some heels. No. Recognize where you are. I'm not saying, oh, I'm walking into Christ consciousness. I'm walking around with my chakras open and I have balanced my masculine and feminine. And I can walk through the parks in the middle of the night. No, because everybody else around you don't have the mentality yet. Black man, you get pulled over by a cop, 99% of the time, you're not going to have a problem. But you don't know the 1%. Put both hands on the steering wheel. You know, Wait and evaluate and see what kind of cop you got to make sure you got a good one. Because it's just a reality. It's just a reality. You know. My daughter was telling Angelina how when she got, and I told that little chick she went to Kuwait. I told her, Sydney, don't wear any shorts. Don't wear shorts. Don't even pack shorts. She didn't pack any, but she wore some on the airplane. Gets to Amsterdam. I forgot to tell Angie this part when she was telling me what she was telling her. She gets to Amsterdam and she was like, Dad, all these people keep staring at me. All these women and these men keep staring at me. I said, you're going to Kuwait. You're on a plane full of people going to Kuwait. You got on shorts. Go change. Change your damn shorts. You're about to go to a country where that's frowned upon. You're going to go to a country where, and she was talking about how when she went to the mall, she had to walk 3 paces behind a little male friend, a little boyfriend. And I'll tell them, you're in their country. That's how they still view things. Your consciousness may be higher than that, where you know men and women are equal, but theirs is not. So you have to recognize, even though your consciousness is higher, you're still dealing with lower conscious people and lower conscious societies. So I'm not saying ignore that, but just know where your mind, where your mind is different than the environment that you live in. He freed my mind and many of those who thought Yahweh was the Father. The world worshiped the dragon and his sons. So you must be Gnostic. What's the truth behind Hermeticism? That's what we're talking about. I'm just telling you how to use it. The truth is, Hermeticism is the way the universe functions. Every law in the universe, and it's a different. Hermeticism is law. See, when the Bible or these other books talk about the law is this, the law is that, the law, we got to follow the law. Those aren't laws. Laws are things that cannot be broken. What you're talking about, what those books are talking about are rules. Those are rules. Rules of society. There's a bride price to marry some young lady. That's a rule. The bride price must be paid if she is raped by a man. That's a rule. If someone is found, what did it say in Romans 8, when it's talking about sexual sins? It says that you should take that person and deliver them to Satan so that the body will be destroyed, so that on the day of judgment, they will ascend to heaven. Which kind of goes a lot against what the Bible says and Jesus said. Jesus was saying, if you don't believe in me, you're going to hell. Paul is saying that we just got to destroy the body. We'll give the body to Satan, but so the soul can ascend to heaven. So Hermetism is laws of the universe, how they function. You cannot break them. You cannot find creation without masculine and feminine. You cannot find creation that didn't first start as a mental creation. Alexander Graham Bell had to sit up there and say, it'd be cool if I can just talk to somebody who's in California right now, ask them how's the weather. It has to start in your mind first. The Wright brothers had to have a vision that was built on top of other people's visions. And there's nothing wrong with having visions built on top of other people's visions. That's how we grow. That's how we grow as well. Somebody starts the process and we build on top of it. But we have to recognize that we still live in this society, in this culture of lower vibrational thinking, of people who are not balanced in their masculine and their feminine. You see, a balanced masculine man sees a woman entering a park and it's dark. Either he warns her and says, walk around, or he walks through there with her. But more, no, he don't walk through that with her. He convinces her to walk around, to go a different way, to get a cab or Uber or something like that. because he does not owe her his life either. He does not owe her the risking of his life, but tries to convince her not to risk her own life. Same thing with a dude getting ready to walk through a park like that by himself. Hey man, and you know the park is dangerous. Hey man, that's not where you want to go. It's like if you had came to Atlanta back in the 80s and 90s, and you was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to this spot, and you told me where it was at, and I'm like, man, that's little Vietnam. Don't go over there. I'm not going with you, but I'll try to explain, hey, unless you know somebody who lives over there and you can name that person, you do not go to Little Vietnam. It was this apartment complex area in Atlanta back then. You don't go over there. So that's that consciousness. That's what it is. And you don't violate those rules, those laws. So the priesthood of Melchizedek must be the law of the soul and the spiritual realm. And the priesthood of Melchizedek is made up. It is a made up way for Christians to connect Jesus to the Old Testament. There is no priesthood of Melchizedek. It's a made up thing. Giving fish and bread in abundance, while Yahweh gives the snake and the rock, then kill them for complaining about the bread. You talking about in Exodus? The snake has been misrepresented as well. The snake is regeneration and wisdom. The snake is not death. Grand Rising, Dom. But we're not really talking about specifically getting into the Bible today. Right? If it doesn't relate to Hermeticism, then we're not talking about it right now. But Yahweh didn't cause nothing because Yahweh is made up. Now, you're all right, Brian. The Nag Hammadi writings are made up fables too. But there is some good wisdom in some of it. I'm almost out of coffee. Oh my word. Those are made up things too. So even the Nag Hammadi writings have some Hermeticism in it, but then they are fableized. That's not a real word, I don't think. So back to the Hermetics. We have to understand that law of mental. Now, how do we apply it? We apply it by every day making where is the true doctrine. If you can if you can read between the lines, you can find it in the Emerald Tablets. But the easiest way for you to get a base understanding of the Hermetics is to pick up a book called the Kybalion. You know what? I need to make get an Amazon affiliate thing and put it on here, so that yeah, I'm about to get affiliate. But read the Emerald Tablets 100 times. Read the Kybalion 100 times. That'll give you a basic. Well, actually, if you read it 100 times, you read those two 100 times. Now, in the Emerald Tablets, you're going to have some of the 9 lords and all this other kind of stuff as well. Ruel and all them. But you have to read between the line and take all that fableized stuff out of it, or somewhat historical things out of it, and just look for the laws. But the Kybalion is pretty much just giving you the Hermetic laws. No, I am. Actually, no, I did. I did create an Amazon affiliate. I didn't see how I'm supposed to, it didn't show me the link for my affiliate. Because y'all need to stop buying stuff that I recommend. without me getting some credit. Because I don't know. How to get, because shouldn't there be a link? I remember doing the affiliate program, and then it said, all right, you're set up. But it never showed me a link. And I meant to call them and ask, like, how do I find my affiliate link in Amazon? Because I don't want y'all buying the purchasing the Kybalion without using my link. And people ask me about some of my jewelry, and some of it I got from Amazon. And it's like, hey, y'all need to go and get it from now. Instead of the other places. Like I said, we're gonna make this. We're making this a lifestyle. So doing that shadow work, doing that mental reevaluation of who you are constantly, looking at your thoughts, recognizing whether your thoughts have been programmed by society in a way that's not in the best interest of yourself or society. That's that's how you start the process of recognizing, of hammering it out, of figuring out whether or not you need to up your mentality. If you're operating at iron, you're operating at bronze, or copper, silver, gold. That's how you figure out whether or not. That's how you sharpen. That's how you get better. That's how you make your mental images cleaner. You know, listening to your gut. When your gut is telling you that you need to go left or right, or that you said something incorrect to someone. Like, some young man got mad at me because he asked for one of the creators of a video that I duetted, but he added an insult in there. And I said to him, most of the time when people ask me who the person was, I would tell them. But since you added the insult, I'm not. And then he was like, look at you, you're 50 something years old and you're acting like this out of some high sense of morality. And I responded, I said, I would have hoped that when I said that the way you asked, you're going to get back what you receive, that you should recognize that, you can ask a question without insulting someone and you'll be provided the information. But he still just wanted to go, so I just left it alone at that point. Now, a lower thought, as soon as I saw the insult, I would went back at him, forget you, and call them names and all these sorts of things. But why? Why? That's operating at a lower vibrational pattern, bringing myself down to him, letting my thoughts be iron instead of letting it be gold or silver. So, but at a certain point, that alchemy also says move on. Move on. He's not ready. And I actually put in there, you may not be able to receive this from me. And that's fine. But hopefully one day it'll click to you that in asking somebody for something with an insult does not get you, it's not going to get you what you desire. Just like some people on here, y'all will tell me that I'm too patient with some people, or on the comments on other videos. And that is because I step back from that. If I have an initial thought of, of what the hell, I stepped back from it, evaluated, uh, to see if, is this the best way I can approach this situation? So, yeah, I'm downstairs. I'm not going to go up and refill my coffee. I had to pick all this stuff up, refill my coffee. Right. So, and transmuting the energy. I'm not going to let that person's, because there's some other books I want to recommend to help you in this process, but I want my Amazon thing first. Uh, but yeah, I'm not going to let his negative energy, his low vibrational energy, transmute into mine and lower my energy so that I travel further south down the pole, to the left of the pole. We're not doing that. Not going to do it. Does anybody know how, if you set up an Amazon Prime account, does anybody know where you, I mean, not Prime account, how to find your Amazon affiliate account link? How to find your Amazon, what is it called? How to find your Amazon affiliate link. Go to any product page, click on share button, and find the link. Oh, so I got to do each one individually? That's some bull. But let's test it. Let's test it. Because if Willie's going to go and get the Kybalion, I'm going to need, I'm okay. The Kybalion. Y'all hold, give me a second. Hmm. Where did it go? How to find your Amazon affiliate link. Passive aggressive? Yes, he was passive aggressive. Why do you keep, every time I say how to find, it says define? I gotta work on my enunciations. Go to any product, click on share, and you'll, okay. I don't see nothing. Oh, share. I'll be dang. Oh, so I guess this is my, if that's it, that's easy. Oh, no, it's not. So, sir, if you're going to get this book, if you're going to go and get the Kybalion, here's my Amazon link. At least this is what came up as a link. I thought it would have been the store ID thing. That would have made store ID and tracking ID. So if you want to pick up the Hermetic, the book, the Kybalion, please use that link. As a matter of fact, is there a way I can pin that thing on there? Nope. I don't know what starring it means, but we're gonna start it. Who is the God in Hermeticism? There is no God per se in the same way, but it is the all. The all is just an intelligent mind that is not forced to create, that does not create out of needs or wants or desires, but creates simply because it creates. It does not embody jealousy or anger or any of those emotions that humans. Oh, that worked? Did it take you straight to the Kybalion? That'd be cool. We figured something out today. I like figuring out stuff. All right. And I'm curious. So I'm going to try something else. There's another book. If you want another book that was very, although it doesn't mention the Kybalion or most of the Hermetic laws straight out, but the author is definitely utilizing every aspect of the Kybalion. Okay, it gave me this. Okay, so my store ID and tracking ID are still the same. I wonder if I just gave you that, what would happen? There's another book. Oh, it did? Cool. This will be another book that gets into details, especially in the law of mentalism, of how to use your mind, how to cleanse your mind, how to make your mind into gold, right? And that is Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil. Right? So Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill will basically teach you, shit, I didn't mean to do that like that. And I'm going to put the link for that one. In Outwitting the Devil, he is going to show you how, he talks about how the devil is the negative portion of your brain and the God is the positive portion of your brain. The part of your brain that makes you do right, the part of your brain that makes you do wrong, the part of your brain that has confidence, and the part of your brain that has doubt. And even though the manuscript was written in 1938, it is still very applicable to today. But he talks about sex transmutation. He talks about mind sharing and building and masterminding. with your spouse and those people around you. But the main thing that he's talking about throughout that entire book is the different aspects of how you gain control of your mind, of your thoughts, and thereby your thoughts leading into the control of your actions, right? When your actions will follow your thoughts. So the Kybalion is very broad. It's somewhat broad. It's not vague, it's just broad. The Kybalion was written like way back in the day too, like 1912, 1917, something like that. But so the language is different. But the Outwitting the Devil brings you more into practical application. Oh, it is very controversial. Christians didn't like it because he was saying that, because it's like, why are you going to the devil in order to find out about the universe and how the mind works and how to be great and successful in every aspects of life, from your health to your how you successfully in your, because your mind controls your health. The only reason I haven't been in that gym in there as much as I should is because of my mind. It has nothing to do with my time. It has nothing to do with my abilities. It is all mental, right? Getting back to eating 95% vegetarian is a mental. So my health is controlled by my mind. The way Angelina and I interact with each other is all mental. Love is and he talks about controlling love. You control love. You control all emotions. So it talks about how to control those things, and that how much of it you should give, how much of it you should hold back. The fact that a person should earn your love, not just give it all away. But it's a constant earning. So and because he's getting it from the devil, people lose their shit. He talks about how messed up the school systems are and businesses and all these sorts of things. His wife wouldn't let him publish the book initially because she was fearful of the backlash. And then when it passed on to her nephew wife wouldn't let him publish the book because she was afraid of the backlash in the 50s and 60s. The book didn't get published till 2011. It was written in 1938, but was never published till 2011 after Napoleon Hill and his wife's nephew had both passed away. And in all honesty, I don't think people were ready for it back then. They were so Christian indoctrinated, they were not ready for it. But if you wanted to get started with Hermeticism, sure, you can go and get the Hermetica, which is a big, long book, but it's more mystic. But if you want to be more down to earth with it, those two books, start there. Then you can go get the Hermetica. But start there. Yeah, if you bought that on that link, I'm curious as to how that works now that I've figured it out. Dr. Google comes through every time. You got to love Dr. Google. Dr. Google is my friend. But that's how we do it. And now we're starting to get very long in the tooth here with this conversation. So we've only talked about 2 damn laws. But the other ones are not as deep in conversation anyway, because they balance themselves off of the other laws and get into more of the practical application. So you create something mentally in your mind that you want to manifest, and you churn it, you put it in the fire and make it as gold as possible with the balance of the masculine and feminine energy, with appropriate amounts of masculine and feminine energy, right? That might be another t-shirt, Debbie and Michelle. Dr. Google is my friend. But so once you have a grasp on, okay, so I want to be in this relationship. I like using relationships and money because they're easier to measure than most of the other things, and your health. they're easy to measure and understand. So if I am, if I'm looking to change my health and I got the right amount of masculine and energy, masculine and feminine energy balanced, where I know that eating is the feminine, how I eat is my feminine energy, because that's my nurturing energy, is how I eat. Go back to 95% vegetarian, and then, but that's that's the smallest action. That's like the smallest part. Doing resistance training is the more masculine part of it. It's the instructional part. Getting my ass out of bed. Well, it's not an out of bed thing for me. It's working out in the afternoons. I don't do well in the morning, but I have more energy in the afternoon. Like right now, I have more energy than I do when I wake up. Even though once you start working out, you have that energy in the morning, but I need my body to get warmed up throughout just moving to then go work out. I get better results. So knowing that instructional energy, then getting in there, taking the time to do it, that's how I manifest the physical health and look that I desire, right? And then the only thing stopping that would be me. So what's next? As above, so below, the law of correspondence. As within, so without. It is basically saying that whatever you do in the mental plane, the spiritual plane, affects the matter plane. But then what you do in the matter plane affects the physical, affects the spiritual and energetic plane. Like I just said. Even though right now, when I wake up in the morning, my body doesn't feel like working out. It doesn't have the same amount of energy that I have at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But once I start working out and eating back in my vegetarian style, then when I do wake up, I will have more energy in the mornings. I'll have more energy in the late mornings than I currently do right now. Which, if I decide to work out earlier in the day, I'll have the right energy to do it. It'll also give me that more clarity and energy to work out like that. That physical workout in the matter plane will give me better spiritual meditations. My meditations will be better. Somebody mentioned shrooms earlier. My shroom experiences will be better because my body is cleaner. My physical body is cleaner, so the lower is affecting the higher because my body is cleaner. Therefore, my spiritual journeys are more in depth or more cleansed or have more focus and all those things. So the lower affects the higher just as the higher affects the lower. We see this in the economies. What rich people do affects what happens to poor people, right? Business decisions that the higher rich people make, that 0.1% makes, affects people who are purchasing from them, the consumers. But yet we know the stock market functions based on what the consumers are purchasing as well. This is why Black Friday is so important. This is why the holiday season is so important. What happens during the holiday season sets the tone for what the business people at the top are going to, the decision they're going to make for the rest of the year, because the consumers control it. So the lower affects the higher as much as the higher affects the lower. We just have to understand where to put them in category and where to use each one of them. You want to open your chakras, you got to get your body into the healthiest state it can possibly be. In the healthiest state it's possibly. You want to open your chakras, you got to get your finances in the healthiest state it could possibly be in, because if your finances are causing you mental and physical stress, your chakras are not going to open. You're too damn stressful. You're too stressed. You can't move your thoughts from iron to silver to gold If your finances are jacked up, because you're constantly worried about your finances. If your credit score is low, if you are robbing Peter to pay Paul, if you're doing all these things, if your budget, you're like at 90% necessities in your budget or 100% necessities in your budget, the lives just stay on here, Nikki. I don't throw them away. They say, but Grand Rising Nikki, Grand Rising eyes wide open. So you have to, so that's how correspondence work. It is not, oh, if I prayed and that the God is going to change this or change that, heal this or heal that. No, that's the bullshit. It is not that. It is getting yourself in position to manifest these things by recognizing when you need to do something on the lower level to affect the higher level, and when you need to do things on the higher level to affect the lower levels. Right? There's people on here who have been who are currently being coached by me and who have been coached by me. The coaching is working on that higher level, that mental, to change something in their physical, to get something working for them in their physical. And depending on what we're talking about, I'll switch it around. I need you to go do this and do this and do this in order for you to get your mind here, to get your spirit here. So start here in this physical level on that. But on this subject matter, this category of your life, I need you to start in the spiritual. I need you to start in the mental and bring so that you can affect your physical. Oh, thank you for the happy solar returner. But that's how the law of correspondence actually works. It's not through prayer. It's not through meditation, somewhat. Meditation, yes. I mean, I say somewhat. Meditation, yes. If it's done purposefully. You might, even when you're meditating just to allow whatever thoughts to float through and be, and you're just finding peace, you're zen. The purpose of that is for you to gain a better understanding and strength in meditation, so that when you do apply meditation to something that you need to change in the matter in the matter world, the lower matter world, then it is purposeful. Whereas prayer is just hoping that something outside does something. I'm hoping something outside of me does it. The all we've already, and see, this is like we already established, the all is not Geppettoing your life. The all is not saying that, oh, you need a new car, I'm gonna get you a new car. You can't find your keys, I'm gonna help you find your keys. You want some healing, I'm gonna heal you. It doesn't work that way. Prayer does, that's what prayer does. Ask for that begging. But when we understand the all doesn't function that way, that the all says everything's already there for you, why are you asking me? That's basically like take the all as a smart ass. Every time somebody prays, take it as a smart, if you pray, take the all as a smart ass saying, hell you asked me for, everything's already there. Everything's already within you to do and manifest whatever it is that you desire, truly desire. You walk around with doubt. Now the Bible, I do give it credit for that one. If you have doubt about something occurring, that doubt will supersede what it is that you're meditating over or praying over. That doubt will win every time. It will stagnate that development, right? The Outwitting the Devil that I posted the link to, Outwitting the Devil talks about that tremendously. That little bit of doubt, that the devil side of your brain just needs that a little bit of doubt. The true mustard seed is the doubt of the devil. The true mustard seed is not the faith in this deity. Because if you only got a mustard seed of faith, but you got a big ass tree of doubt, that doubt is going to overwhelm that little mustard seed like a champ. I understand the analogy is that a mustard seed grows. It's this tree, and it's not even the largest tree in Israel, so I don't even know why they use that. It's not even the smallest seed either. But because that was a lie when it says it's the smallest seed, and it's not. But that tree, yes, it provides shade, it provides nesting for birds, it provides so much. But if you have this much faith and that much doubt, the doubt's going to win. This is why these religious people don't get what they want. Well, you shouldn't want. This is why they don't get what they desire. Because that little bit of doubt, that doubt, they have a larger amount of doubt. When it's actually in reverse, you need to minimize, the doubt need to be minimized to almost absolute nothingness. Even when you reach a high place and you are successful in whatever you're achieving, but there's always that little bit, is because there's still a little tiny speck of doubt to get you there. Like, when me and Angelina was on the beach a couple weeks ago, this young man who was out there tanning, when he passed by us, I told Angelina, I said, I will not get back to that level. And she was like, but you can. I was like, I know I can. I'm just not willing to do what's necessary to get back to that level. Right? So there is that point where you say, I'm good right here. Even though I know I can get here, what do I have to sacrifice in order to get there? I'm not willing to do it. So it's getting there. Is the book The Kybalion supposed to be derived from the Emerald Tablets of Hermes? Yes. It's the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, not Hermes. They're the same being in the pantheons of the Greek and the Kemetic, but yes. But it should say the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. There's a link up above that doesn't have any other name around it. One link is for, I don't know if you saw the two links I posted, Marcus. No, you was here when I posted those links. The Kybalion link is the first link I posted on my Amazon. And the Outwitting the Devil is the other one. But the Emerald Tablets is a good read. I do like the Emerald Tablets as well. Yep, I'm about to do it again. We're going to make this thing work. Let me see which one they got. That's the one that I have. I like sending people to the one that I have and not the one that. Now, I got to warn you. Most of the time, I do like hardbacks, but I will get paperbacks from time to time as well. But I did like this one. People always ask me about this guy, but I was like, yeah, I know about it. But this is the one from Billy Carson. That is the version of the Emerald Tablets that I read, that I liked. I've read many different copies, because I'll read different authors because they're going to have their own inputs. I do like Billy Carson's version most. But the Kybalion would be your Cliff Notes, like down straight to the point version of the story of it. But that's how we use the law of correspondence. Now, after the law of correspondence, when we understand that we're going to be using the higher to affect the lower and the lower to affect the higher, this is where we get more practical app as well. The law of polarity. The law of polarity is that everything is dual. Everything is dual. Everything everything is on the same plane. There is nothing that is all to the right and nothing that is all to the left, but there are a million degrees in between, and they are infinite. There is no absolute good. There is no absolute evil, and there are millions of in the spectrum between. God and the devil would be one and the same. You are one and the same. God and the devil, outwitting the devil again here. You are the God and you are the devil. It depends on where you are on the scale. I'm in this room. It is neither hot nor cold. Someone may walk in here and say it's hot. Angelina will come in here and say it's cold. To me, it's comfortable, right? It is just a matter of temperature. It is a pole of heat. And there are degrees. Where does cold begin and where does hot begin? Does it begin at 60 degrees or does it begin at 70 degrees? Does it begin at 75, 70, 80 degrees? Where does hot begin? This Joker, he ain't supposed to come in. Nobody's supposed to come here until Monday Night Football. Why he showing up early? Hold on for a minute, y'all. Where you at? No, I thought you was coming for the game tonight. Oh, come around the back to the basement. Yeah, I'll let you interrupt my live as you're interrupting it right now, so you can get you some cigars. No, that ain't what we're gonna do. I'm explaining to you the rules too. You gotta let me know what times you want to come. That way you make sure I'm also here. Well, the text the text was about football, fool. Bye. 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 Yeah. I know. I told him to come around the back. God dang. These humans. Let me move this back some so I can actually get up. Y'all give me a second. But yes, so the law of polarity, we're going to continue. Marinate on that for a second. You ain't read none of the rules on none of those texts that I sent. I ain't seen no football stuff today. This is what I got. I'm doing a live right now. That's right. All right. That's yours? No, I ain't gonna have those till December. All right, so let me keep talking while he's looking at to see what cigars he wants to get. Hold on. Go. All right. So while he's looking, do you know what you want? Well, come in. What you want?
Give me 2 leaves and 2 birds.
2 leads and 2 girls. Yeah. That what we call them?
Yeah. Lead by Oscar and Gert and Grand Reserve. I know we've been really correct.
Yeah. So in December, I should have, I don't know when in December, but I should have I have my sticks back.
I didn't even know so much. I mean, I don't even get no food. I did some shit.
You didn't come for the game.
I don't watch football.
I specifically said Monday Night Football, though.
I didn't read that part. I heard about some food and sticks. Sorry, I don't read that part.
This is why, so I do live and video. Yeah, because I'm free, man. You I'm done now. When I started. Usually I try to be unfortunate. Actually, what's you never around, man. You never around.
I don't watch football.
No, you never around. You didn't hang out at the lounge. You never
I
around.
don't be hanging out. I like to drink my wine, smoke my sticks, go get this.
I'm saying that.
Smoke my stick, drink some wine, and go try to get this.
I gotta get that. Next time, let me know when you want to come. No, it ain't free for all. I got control of my time now. This joker. Sorry about that. He didn't understand that you just don't show up to get cigars. You have to RSVP. Let me know when you come. You can't just walk up. That text specifically said Monday Night Football. This joker. All right. I appreciate y'all. Y'all be hanging in. So I guess I drink some water now. So basically, whatever it is you want to manifest in your life, identify where it is on the pole. Like, you have to know exactly what it is on the pole. You have to identify exactly where it is on the pole. Once you identify where it is on the pole, then what the pole is actually, then you identify where are you on that pole. Where's your mind on that pole? Where's your thought process on it? And then once we know where we are, we can start to move, right? Now, the law of vibration says, which is the next one, the law of vibration says that everything vibrates. Nothing is at a standstill. Everything moves. Things are either raising their vibration or they're lowering their vibration. There's no such thing as stagnation. When people say I'm in a rut, you're not in a rut. You're dying. Your vibration is lowering. The thing is going away. Exactly, Michelle. Gotta get that money. Gotta handle that business, right, Christian? You're moving. The thing is moving. It's either moving you closer towards a lower portion of the scale, of the pole, or a higher part of the pole. But there's no standstill. So recognizing where you are is recognizing where your vibration is on the pole, right? And if you're moving higher or lower. And most of the time, we are moving higher and lower based on the law of rhythm. Then the law of rhythm, there is the swing of left and right. You're always swinging. As far as you can swing to the right is as far as you'll swing to the left. If you are far to the right, you can swing far to the left. If you're far to the left, you can also swing far to the right. You know how some people, they make millions and millions of dollars. They lose all of it, millions and millions, be millions and millions in debt. But because they used to be millions and millions, they can always seem to get back. You can always get back to wherever your normal swing is. But it is raising that realizing the pole and raising that vibration, changing your mental state that causes you to be able to swing further to the right. You know, the person you was accustomed to making 10 million, but now they know how to make 100 million when they swing harder to the right. In my life, the most money I've ever made in 1 year was $220,000. A personal put in my pocket money, 220. I've also been that far in debt. Actually, I've been further than that in debt. But I knew how to, I got myself out of it and I swing back. And I've always had that swing. That's my swing financially, right? It's been my whole life. That's been my swing. But, and you start out, you know, I started out with a swing here and then I swung and swung. Now, I recognize where my rhythm is. If I want to truly live the life I desire, to go see all the things I want to see, to bougie it up the way I want to do it. Like, I don't want to just, like, when I ride the camel gonna have soft cushions and shit on it, right? Gonna be the nice, strong, good camel. And give me the regular camel that everybody else ride. I need a good camel. You know, to have that, the finances to get the permission to go into the parts of the sacred sites, the ancient sites that most other people can't go to get access to Göbekli Tepe, where they're still excavating, not the parts that they allow people, but the privileged site. I know I need my financials to swing for much further right than they've ever been. Gummies help you to get mental clarity. That's me with microdosing mushrooms. Actually, that Jekyll who's that's who I get them from. He's one of my sources I get them from. But that helped me swing to the far right. I know I got to swing far right. I got to get past 220. I got to get up into the higher 500s and 500s and above to gain that access. I can probably get that access at a lower amount than that. But I know I need to go farther than 220 to get to those places that I want to go and see it the way I want to see it, and then be able to educate and make the videos in a way that is farther, that is more involved than what the average person who's just using Dr. Google is going to get to. Right? But there's a law inside that law called the law of polarization. You see, I used to have those big swings, but I've learned how to minimize my swings. The way that you minimize your swing is as soon as you see something is starting to swing to the left, you automatically know that you're swinging to the left. You don't hope and pray and do the same bullshit, but you figure out how you and let it keep swinging. You reinvigorate your vibration to go back to it. So you've been working out consistently and eating consistently for 5 years, right? And this is me right now. 5, 6 years eating mostly vegetarian, working out at least 3 times a week, lifting weights. And you start cooking all that good food, start eating all that meat, gained 30 pounds in the last year. Started recognizing that I was moving in that direction and had to say, look, baby, you great. Food is phenomenal, but I need more vegetables. I ain't giving up the meat completely, but I need more vegetables. And I stopped the swing because your boy, me, this guy, who used to participate in amateur bodybuilding, had that kind of body. But I swung all the way to over 300 pounds. I came back, wasn't getting back to that level because I wasn't going to do the work to get there, and started a fitness company, right? Got back into a shape that I was happy with, a size I was happy with, a health that I was happy with. Maintain that. Then I started eating Angie's good food. But as I saw, and I went from 230. And I went from 220, to 250. Hey, got to get back to that veggie life. Now I just got to get back in that gym, right? I know what to do. I know how to change it, right? So you don't let yourself swing all the way back. I'm not going to 300 pounds. And my 300 pounds was different than most 300 pounds. It was all right here and right here. Not going back to that 300. I know how to stop it, polarize myself. The biggest place where people mess this up at is in relationships. It was all great. Oh, the honeymoon phase, as people like to call it. But then you let life lower your vibration, and kids come into play, work come into play, other family members, all these other things come into play. And the next thing you know, you've lived the next 20, 30 years with this person, and you really don't know this person. Y'all not having the fun that y'all used to have. Y'all don't date like y'all used to date. You don't get dressed for him, and he don't get dressed for you. He doesn't do the things that show you love. He's not courting you. You're not courting him. And now y'all been married for 20, 30, 40 years. Kids are gone. And y'all two people sitting in the house and y'all don't know each other anymore. Y'all don't like each other. You love each other, but you don't like each other. The in love is gone. Why? Because you didn't realize that when it was swinging to the left from in love and swung down to love, you didn't realize you need to get back in the in love. You didn't do what's necessary to get back to in love and stay in love. There's no reason the honeymoon period should ever end. Like, that's one of the things that makes it very difficult for anybody to be in a relationship with me, because I refuse to let the honeymoon phase end. And if that person, and because it's not just involving one person, but two people, the other person has to be in sync with you and making sure it's not going to end. You can't have one person working for it and the other person's not. You can't have one person working for it and the other person is doing everything that's pushing away. You both have to be in concert with one another. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So I'll be like, bye, you gotta go. Because I'm not willing to get into my 70s and just be comfortable with you. You're doing your thing and I'm doing my thing. Polarization is vital if you actually want what would be a successful relationship. People call somebody who's been together for 20, 30, 40, 50 years a successful relationship. No, it's not. It's a successful companionship, but it's not a successful relationship. Understanding the change of season, the best time for you to thrive. Ups and downs, lows and highs. Yes, but there's a way you can constantly. You ever heard of those people who constantly lives in spring and summer? Like, you're going to see it. 2025, you're going to see it. 2025, what you're going to see is the purchase of an RV. And unless we just want to go skiing, you're not going to see any of these videos in any other weather other than late spring, summer, and early fall. That's it. 70 degrees and above. That's all you're going to see. There will be no low. Can't do low. No low temperatures. Not doing it. They're going to be like, where you at? Pedro Island, Texas. Where you at now? South Pedro Island, Texas. It's the dead of winter in January, February. We're in South Pedro Island, Texas. We were in Cabo, or not Cabo, the Baja, California Baja area, but it actually started dipping past 70 in January. So we left and we went to South Pedro Island, Texas, or we went to the Florida Keys, or we went to we parked the RV and went to the Puerto Rico or the Virgin Islands. There doesn't have to be a low. That's the thing. There doesn't have to be lows. You know how people used to say, don't go to bed angry with your mate? That doesn't have to be alone. I recently got married, first marriage, but we've known each other for 8 years. Having a mutual respect, friendship, first is important. You really know one another. It is. That is very true. Marriage is fun. Now, the thing about it, how long y'all been married? Michelle, how long y'all been married? There's a reason why I'm asking. Less than 2 months. Now, if you see it, one, people who come around y'all and say, oh, y'all just in the honeymoon phase, don't hang around those people. Those are miserable ass people who are trying to wreck your relationship. Don't hang around them people. Or if you can't help it and they're like family or co-workers, make sure that they need to understand, don't say that kind of stuff. It's always going to be the honeymoon. All right. You know, you say so, but if you can't agree with me that it's always going to be the honeymoon, then we don't need to talk about this. We just need to deal with whatever we deal with. If you're a co-worker, we just need to deal with work stuff then. But your energy, your mental energy is not going to affect my energy. I'm not going to let you keep saying stuff like that, affecting my energy. You know, you keep that away. You keep those people away. You keep that comment away. You keep those spells away, those vibrations away, right? Because those vibrations will get into your head. As much as you right now, because you're in that, you're feeling that way, people will be like, you'll think, oh no, I'm never going. Nobody ever thinks that it's not going to be the honeymoon phase when they first start. But you keep those people away. You keep those people out of your business. You don't talk to them about your relationship. You don't go to them for relationship advice. They're miserable people. If they already think it's going to fade out, they're miserable. Leave them alone. But now, more importantly, you and your husband need to have that mentality as well towards each other. Towards each other. If y'all can't take time out to have fun every day, you got to start taking time out to have fun every day. All right. Every day is fun, but you got to stay that way. Like you got to purposely say that to each other. You got to have that conversation. You got to do love checkups. You know, hey baby, do you feel loved? How do you feel? Do you feel loved? 1 out of 100. Where you at? Where you at? Is there any things that am I doing anything that's making you not feel loved? Right? Because they may be doing it thinking they're making you feel loved. Is there anything I'm doing that's making you not feel loved? So I can change it. I need you to feel loved. Right? And these are the things you're doing that's making me not feel loved. Because every experience that y'all have from here on out, those experiences are going to change you. It changes both of you. You have to grow together in your experiences. Did this experience change your perspective on how we live in the house? Did this experience change your perspective on how we travel? Did this experience change your perspective on our dating? Does this experience change? You know, as you go through life, you have to make sure that y'all are growing together with the different experiences and having enough similarity of outcome that you maintain the relationship. This is polarizing your relationship into the honeymoon phase. If y'all are getting it in intimately wise, 4, 5, 6 times a week, y'all need to stay within that range of whatever it is. Like, let's say your average is 6 times a week. And 2 weeks go by, and y'all only got it in like once or twice during that 2 weeks. Oh, we need about 3-4 week rump sessions all day, every day, as much as we possibly can. Right? We got to get back into that group. Forget that. You know, I don't want to hear nothing about your back hurt. I don't want to hear nothing about you being tired. Get your ass in that bed, woman. Get in that bed, man. Or, you know, come on to the sofa. Picnic in the living room, and we're going to get it on. Whatever is necessary to make it happen. Because when you start losing it, that's when you start going downhill. And then you're going to be like, yeah, I remember. Then y'all will be that couple. Oh, they so cute, little young couple, all in love. And I remember, you remember we used to be that way, baby? Yeah, I remember. You know, life is woo. You know, I'm going to start doing skits. I was encouraged to start doing skits. So I'm going to start doing skits. Like, oh, yeah, you know,
I done changed now. We done got older, and that's for young folk. That's for young folk right there. That's for young. We'll see how many trials and tribulations they can make it through. That's the test of a real marriage. That's the test of real love. Bullshit. You do not have to have a whole bunch of tests and trials in a relationship to have a great relationship. Like, why do people measure the greatness of relationships by how many challenges you overcame? Why can't we just have relationships that's been great, the overwhelming majority? I ain't never sleeping on no damn sofa. She ain't never sleeping on the damn sofa. She ass in this bed. You're just gonna be mad at me for right now, but you're gonna get over it. I tickle your ass. One way or another, you finna laugh. We're gonna solve this issue, and then we getting back to happy. I ain't going for that bullshit. But that's how the law of polarity works inside of the law of rhythm. For every aspect of your life, apply that to every aspect of life. Every last one of them. And Michelle, I know you're on here. I don't know if he ever listened to any of this kind of stuff, but take this clip from 2 minutes and 2 hours and 50 and make him listen to it. Because this is the part he needs to understand. Y'all need to be in lockstep with this part. With that whole part that I just explained, y'all need to be in lockstep with that. If you want to have a true successful relationship, that's where it needs to be. And finding a mate who's willing to be in that same mindset is hard as hell. Don't tell Angelina, but it took me goddamn 50 years, 51 years to figure it out, to find somebody who gets it. And then they have to demonstrate it consistently demonstrate. And it's a work. Marriage is not when the relationship ends, it's when the relationship truly begins. And it's constant. But that's how you polarize. And how do you do that? How do you increase that vibration or polarize yourself in a vibration on a pole? It's through the law of cause and effect. This is the last one. The law of cause and effect. Right? The law of cause and effect is simple, but it is one of the most powerful laws in there. But it doesn't work unless you have the rest of it. For every effect, for every cause, there's an effect. For every effect, there is a cause. Nothing happens by luck, chance, or miracle. There's no such thing as freaking luck, chance, or miracle. Nothing. Christian, since February, I have come to grips with my man to hand relation. Christian, it's stupid. Why? Really? Really, Christian? That's what we doing? Let me tell you something. You're in a relationship with somebody and you done came to grips with your man-to-hand relationship, y'all got some problems. You need to sign up for some coaching session with Coach Reyes. Y'all got some problems if you're not coming to grips with your man-to-hand relationship. Hell no. No, sir. Oh, my gosh. Christian. So, cause and effect. Or you can look at it scientifically. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. That also applies with the law of rhythm. But your causations, once you have it mental and you understand what you need to mentally do to move, then your causation is the actions that you take, the words that you speak, that creates your causation. The words that Michelle speaks to her husband, the action she takes towards her husband creates an effect. But what are the effects? And if you want your husband or spouse, you want your husband and wife to feel loved, are you enacting the right physical and throat chakra vibrational words to encourage the appropriate outcome? Are you or are you not? So for me, if we use the 5 love languages as a barometer, as a measuring stick, right? Physical touch, quality time. Words of affirmation there, that's fine. I appreciate them. Acts of service, I appreciate them. Well, let me say acts of service, then words of affirmation, and then gifts. If you're like star-studded in gifts, but I'm not getting physical touch and quality time, you could be kicking ass in these 3. It ain't gonna matter. It's not gonna affect me. I'm missing these 2. And remember, early in this video, we talked about 80-20 rule. 20% of what you do creates 80% of the results, right? Just like in every business, 20% of your products are creating 80% of your sales. When I was a sales manager, 20% of my sales associates created 80% of the revenue that was generated. There's always an imbalance like that. It might be 80-20, it might be 70-30, 60-40, 90-10, but it's always going to be something like that. If I ain't getting those 2 to the amount that I desire, physical touch, quality time, you can buy me all the gifts you want. I'm gonna be mad. At some point, I'm gonna start saying, why are you buying me gifts? Stop buying me gifts. I don't want any more gifts. And oftentimes people demonstrate how they receive love to the person that they love by doing how they will receive it. So like my mom, one of her biggest love language, if my mom is acts of service, and well, no, y'all know, it's gifts, and then acts of service, and then it's physical touch, right? Now I'm physical touch first, so I hug on my mom a lot. I recognize though acts of service and gifts, so I try to give her things and all that. Like I'm gonna order another one of these because I've seen her 2 times and she's like, I really like that. What she really saying is, I want one. So I know that gifts, acts of service, physical touch, but because I'm a physical touch and quality time person, I will stop by there and talk to her and see her. I will hug on her. I don't think about buying gifts. But what I have to recognize, what I recognize is that in order for make sure that she feels loved, buy her gifts. That's her thing, buy her gifts. Like, it's a joke. I make the joke to the family. I said, if you want my brother or my mother's love, buy them gifts. That you can buy them. You can buy my brother, you can buy my mom. Those 2 jokers, gifts is like right up. It's top dog. So just because mine is physical touch and quality time, if I want to show those 2 people in my family love, I need to buy them gifts. I need to, what would be my brother's second one? Acts of service would be my brother's second one. So those are the things I would need to show them, right? Because if I want to show somebody love and make sure that they feel that way, I have to realize it ain't about me, it's about them. So Coach Marino, are you saying that, well, mutual understanding is key? Yes. I'm saying if somebody was to win the Mega Millions lottery, even though the odds are slim for them to win, it wouldn't be total luck to win because they still had to buy a ticket. Yes. The odds ain't got nothing to do with, the odds have something to do with you winning, yes. But if you do win, then you simply beat the odds because you picked the numbers, you picked the right numbers at the right time. Let me put it to you like this. This hurts my soul, okay? I remember making a declaration, I'm gonna win the lottery this year when I was living in Florida. This was back in 99. No, 99. I said I was gonna win the lottery. And for about 6-7 months, I played the lottery every week. Every lottery, Florida lottery, I played it. I had my same numbers, played it. Money got real tight. I stopped playing. 2-3 months later, those numbers came in. $7 million. $7 million. But that's the way it works. It's not luck. It wasn't. It was not. There was no luck in it, and that wasn't bad luck. That was just I said something, and then as soon as things changed financially for me, I reorganized and said, well, that part I can't do. I'm not believing. I'm putting doubt in that one because that has a higher probability of not benefiting me. So I stopped doing it. But I would have won the lottery, $7 million, and I would have been the only person to have won it that week because nobody else picked those numbers. Nobody won it that week. It rolled over. $7 million. Yep. It still hurts. But yeah, so yeah, there's no such thing as luck. There's no such thing as chance that happened by chance. No, it didn't happen by chance. There were a series of causations that brought about that effect. When the person has a car accident, there's a series of causation that caused that car accident. It wasn't bad luck. It wasn't by chance. If you're in an airplane and you die because the airplane crashed, it wasn't unlucky. It wasn't fate. You bought the ticket. There was a problem with the plane or weather or whatever. Causation. You just didn't know that was going to happen, but it's causation. There's a causation for it. Causation that we cannot explain is what we call luck, chance, or miracle. Especially miracle is the ones that we can't explain. I'm trying a bit. We are just two different people. We have nothing in common but our daughter. Oh, I'm trying, but. So the question is, would you guys be better off together or apart? Would your daughter be better off with y'all together or apart? And not strip away conditioning. Conditioning says that the children are better if y'all are together. But what is that child seeing while y'all are together? Is that child seeing love of how two people should love each other? Are they seeing how two people should respect each other? Are they seeing affection? Are they seeing cooperation? Are they seeing working together? Or are they seeing anger and frustration? Are they seeing loneliness? Are they seeing fighting? Like, what are you programming that child to believe a relationship is? And although most people, I'm real about stuff, there are a lot of people who are together who shouldn't be together. You know, and I've seen personally what happens when two people stay together for the children. And those kids go out and they have no idea how to build a relationship. Both people making an effort to make a happy and fun home and lifestyle. That is very key. That is very key. You need both people. But if you're not having that, you're teaching the child how to have dysfunctional relationships. It's a hard thing to deal with. It's a hard question to ask. And of course, whoever is not the guardian of the child, whoever doesn't get the child, is going to feel like they're losing because you don't get that child every day. Even though I didn't leave Atlanta because I was going to stay here and be where my children were and I was going to spend as much time as I could, I still felt like I lost because I didn't get to see them every day. I didn't get to go through every journey with them. I didn't get to, that day to day, and it mattered. And even though I saw them like initially every weekend, and then they started having little lives, then the weekends started getting split. We had, we alternated when they was out of school as to who gets them when and where, and then summer we alternated weeks and all that stuff. I still spent more time than most fathers got with their kids, but I still feel like I lost out on a lot of their experiences and a lot of their development. So whoever is the non-custodial, you're going to feel a loss, but it's up to you to make sure the child doesn't feel as much of a loss as you do. I don't have kids yet, but being intentional. Yeah, and you have to be intentional. And if the mother is acting, if the custodial, I ain't gonna lie, I have yet to really see a custodial father acting stupid unless the mother is like whacked out. But I do see more often angry custodial wives, ex-wives, uh, weaponize the child. And that is what the courts are for. And I get pissed off when I see dudes like, you wouldn't, I'm harder on men than I am on women. I'll tell you right now, Christian. I'm harder on men than I am on women. When I had dudes who would sit up in my lounge and they're talking, yeah, man, but she won't let me see my kids. And I was like, look here, punk. And I straight call him a punk. Look here, you little punk. Take your ass to the court. If your child is that important to you, because they be sitting in like one of those seats over there. If that child is that important to you, you'll take your ass to the court. You'll file the paperwork. You'll make sure that she does not interrupt your visitation and that she is following whatever the court say. And if she keeps doing it, then go take your child from her. And then she becomes the visitation parent. But I don't believe in standing for that bullshit. I will take your ass to court because you ain't stopping me from seeing. Now, we talked about it before we even got married, that if something ever happens, we ain't gonna weaponize the child. And you know, I know people say shit and then do stuff differently, but she was on point, never weaponize the children. And no woman should do that. If you do that, you're wrong as hell. If he's an asshole, if he's a piece of shit father, let the kids find out on their own. It is not for you to teach them that he's that. Let them find out. If he's an absentee, let them find out. It ain't your responsibility to make sure they know ahead of time. You let them find out. But don't weaponize them kids. And don't be a punk ass if a woman or man is weaponizing a kid. Stop being a punk about it and go handle it. You got your visitation set up in the court. You went to the court for all the other breakup shit. Take your ass back to court for that. I don't care if you got to call the police. Every time you go over there, I'm going to pick up my children. I need police escort. Because I got court documents, but she's not obeying court documents. You do enough of that, child come live with you. I try to make a happy household. I try to make the household happy. She's a good woman, just not for me. Priorities are not where they should be. And why are you still there? Never weaponize the children. Men commit suicide if women do that. True. There is a good percentage of men who commit suicide over there. Playing the lottery is sort of like gambling, except you might have a better chance of winning something in gambling, but you probably should know what you're doing if you want to gamble. Yeah, I've won more money at the craps table than I've ever won playing the lottery. I go to Vegas or any casino, you will only see me at the craps table. And I've never lost. Nope, never lost. Thought I was going to lose 2 years ago, but wound up coming out 1,600 on top, 1,800 on top. Yeah, never saying anything bad. Actions speak louder than words. Yeah. If it ain't about the kids, then that really tells you about the mental vibration of the person you're dealing with. Right? It tells you about the mental vibration of the kids you're dealing with. If they weaponize children. What do you think is a worse addiction, gambling or playing the lottery? I'm going to say gambling is worse because most people lose more money in lump sums when they go to casinos and gamble, and they will gamble away their what sustains their life. Playing the lottery might be $5-10 a week. People go to the damn casino and they'll drop 500, 5,000, and then they're trying to figure out how to keep the lights on. So gambling is a worse addiction than the lottery. Shouldn't be addicted to anything other than preservation and growth of yourself. Yeah, it's feminine, masculine balance. How to have that balance. And cause and effect. That's how you maintain that balance. What you do, what you say, that creates the balance for you. When you're not doing that, it's not. So in summary, if you truly want to manifest anything in your life and use the Hermetics to do so, first, go back and look at all my videos that we did, the Hermetics. It's 14 videos, very in-depth. We read the Kybalion, or go to the links above the comments. Go to the links above the comments and get the Emerald Tablets, get the Outwitting the Devil, get the Kybalion. Read the Emerald Tablets, then the Kybalion, then Outwitting the Devil. Read them in that order. Emerald Tablets, Kybalion, Outwitting the Devil. If you don't get the Emerald Tablets, Kybalion, and Outwitting the Devil. But Kybalion first, Outwitting the Devil. Reading the Kybalion will help you understand Outwitting the Devil even more so, right? I cooked 3 meals during this live. We've been on here for 3 hours, which y'all know is my max, which is my time, because I got to shoot some other videos, and I need to go get some firewood before people come here for Monday Night Football. But because I'm going to be outside the fire pit, I don't care who's inside. I'm going to be outside. And I put a TV outside anyway. So when you understand to put the right amount of masculine and feminine energy into something with balance, yes, they're on YouTube. It's easier to find them on YouTube than Facebook because they're in a playlist on YouTube. I did find out you can start creating playlists on Facebook, so I'll start putting things in playlists on Facebook as well. But on YouTube, you go to my page, Why I Left Religion with Coach Renz, and go to playlist, go to the channel, go to playlist, and you'll see a playlist for the Kybalion, and you can read it that way. You're just getting the notification. That's messed up. That's messed up, Papa Soul. We've been on here for 3 hours. That's messed up. You might need to check your notifications, sir. But normally, Papa Soul, we go on at 10:30, around 10:30 in the morning. Today we started at 1 because Angelina's off, and so we spent the morning together. And if I knew she was off, she told me, but I just forgot. I would have told y'all on Friday that we were going to start late today. But when you get that balance, and then you recognize that there's nothing to fear out there, there's no heaven, hell, no devotional worship, understanding what the all is, and understanding the divine paradox that everything can be mentally created by you, that you can have everything, you can do everything, then we understand cause and as above, so below. That on both realms, depending upon what we're working on, you either start in the below or you start in the above. And you might move back and forth in each as you progress along the pole so that you can vibrate higher to the right of whatever you're trying to do, and then polarize yourself over there through cause and effect. Lost, what are you talking about? Isn't it interesting these people just come on here and just start spouting stuff ain't got nothing to do with what we're talking about? You know what? There's a thing for that. See, I said, yeah. Even though we're about to get off here, hang on. But that's the Hermetics. That's the 7 Hermetics, and that's how you use them practically. That's the practical app of how you can use them. Like I said, we went through the Kybalion, but that is more practical app. Outwitting the Devil, which is a book. You can go up into the comments and go to Amazon and purchase that book through the link, which I implore all of you to do that. And by doing so, you will be able to manifest the life that you desire to manifest, and you will be able to grow. And you don't need these religions, and you don't need these schemes and scams in order to do any of those things. It is all based on you. It's all based on you, right? And your growth and your development. So I hope that. So what have you guys gained from that? What have you guys gained from that? I just put that fool in time out. I ain't got time. We're not gonna let that energy come in here and mess up what we've been doing. Yeah, YouTube is tripping. Yep, Emerald Tablets, Kybalion, Outwitting the Devil in that order. Read them 100 times. Like I started doing that some years ago, rereading those 3 books, and that's why I haven't read many other books over these last 5 years, because I read the Emerald Tablets, then I read the Kybalion, then I read Our Will and the Devil. And I go right back. And I just kept rereading them. If I wouldn't read them because of my work situation when I was in the popcorn shop, I would listen to them. But you got to read before you listen, because listening, your mind zones out. I was dealing with customers, and the book is playing in my ear. So paper. You need book in hand, quiet time. Like we set up a room in the house. It's just a reading room, nothing else, just reading. Just got to take that time to read. So you guys have a great video today. Scale of 1 to 10. No, the Hermetica is a different book. The Hermetica does have the Emerald tablets in it, I believe, because I haven't read that in a while, but it's different. The Hermetica is more of a Greek book written by the Greeks. All right. Well, as they say in the church, if all hearts and minds are clear, so I can go get some firewood and then come back here and make some more videos to post. We're going to adjourn church today. I appreciate the gifts that were given. All the happy birthday, happy born day, the Earth Day, solar returns, revolutions. I appreciate all of those. 52. 2 years into my journey, I'll be at midlife at 75. Yep. Not gonna have a midlife crisis though. So I appreciate all of that. But it's been a good year. It's been a very, very. The previous year was a good year. It's a good year. It's a very good year, actually. It's a very good year. I must say it's been one of the more enjoyable years that I've had in the last 5. So it was a good year. So with that, thanks for the gifts. Thanks for the birthday wishes. And as always, you got to. Oh, and thanks for the purchase on the Amazon thing that we just figured out today. So remember, always, you got to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations. And I will see you guys tomorrow for What's Wrong with the Bible. And we're in Numbers 3 and 4.